The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Welcome in. It's the 4th of July weekend. Happy holiday. Let us take you right to the holiday for the next 3 hours. You got me, you got Brett, we got Gabe on the other side, and we're just going to sit back here and reflect and talk a little bit about, well, handicapping with Alan Bell. I think Vandy a little bit, and NIL with Bill King. Tim Doolin's going to talk baseball. Andy Schiffman's going to talk NBA. And we'll get the final trending of the week coming your way about 5:30, and then into all the fireworks that we hope and joy that you will have this 4th of July. You know, the older you get, you never get surprised at anything, but I must confess, there's a story today that Brett Norsworthy has me just amazed. You think you've seen it all, and then comes the story of Hersey Miller. I know you've seen the story, correct?
I have not. I'm sorry.
Oh, you've not? Okay. Hersey Miller, who, by the way, has a brother called Mercy Miller. Hersey and Mercy, they are the sons of Master P. And Gabe Kuhn, your generation, a little bit more familiar with this. Master P is a rapper, correct? Who's very successful. He's also a producer, if I recall correctly.
Yes, good businessman in general.
Yeah, lots of money, right. So Hersey is a really good point guard. I mean, he could have gone to Power 5 school. I think LSU was in the mix. USC was in the mix. I think he had an older brother, Romeo, maybe, that might have played at USC, something of that nature. Hersey Miller decided he
I bet the team parties were fun at Master P's house.
Oh, I guarantee you.
It wasn't hamburgers and hot dogs only.
Well, here's the thing. Hersey decided he didn't want to go the big college route. He wanted to go to an HBCU. So he chose to go to Tennessee State. With that deal of going to Tennessee State, since you have not read this story, he has just gotten from a company called Web Apps America. Gabe Kuhn, what the heck is Web Apps America?
That's a fantastic question. I would assume it has to do with web apps.
Okay.
You lost me at Master P.
Okay. So this is now the biggest. This kid's going to Tennessee State. He got signed by Web Apps America, whatever that might be. What do you think he is getting to go to Tennessee State?
I don't know. I'm mystified at the whole story.
$2 million.
Whoa, good for him.
I told
you.
Good
for his upbringing. Way to go, Dad. You taught him well.
You wouldn't believe this story, but this is the story. That is the truth. I am.
Gabe, give me a little Master P bumping, just see if I recognize any of it. Can you get? You don't have to get it right this second.
He's
but at some point,
he's fast.
Hit us with some Master P.
Master P. I knew of Master P.
Dave, you got any Master P on your iTunes or any of your music?
I have no rap. Well, I actually have some of my sons.
I do.
Who put it on there. You know, my son has had some beats that he's made for rappers.
Yeah.
That would be Nathan, and of course his great band Sunway, which is really more heavy metal. Well, he doesn't think it's heavy metal. He says it's just rock and roll, but it's very hard rock and roll. But he had familiarized me with Master P in the past. Not that I am an aficionado of that at all. But you are really going through a lot. I thought Master P would pop up just like that, Gabe Kuhn.
Edited versions.
I'm going to.
You're looking for edited versions.
I'm looking for a.
That would be a little harder.
I didn't listen to a lot
Friday
of
afternoon
on. Say that.
I did this one at Friday afternoon on I2 games and went to Country Grammar, and it came out a little hot, and David Basham was quick to the delay button. And I said, get it off the web immediately.
We're getting all kinds of. I mean, we knew this stuff would happen. There's apparently a couple of very attractive twin girls that have been influencers, and I'm trying to see where they play.
If you're an influencer, you need to get out there with you an NIL deal.
My goodness. I have no eligibility left. They signed a big deal.
I would say you have full eligibility in everything. You haven't extinguished a day of it.
The Cavenders.
From
Haley,
Fresno State.
Yeah, Fresno. What do they play? Are they volleyball girls?
Basketball.
Basketball girls. And they're going to make a ton because they're
Good.
already social media experts. So, look.
I don't think they've influenced me yet, but I'm probably not the target audience for their influencing.
This story, it's just amazing to me that a kid.
It is.
I mean, he hasn't.
Into the wild blue yonder.
Honestly,
I love it. It's fine. The market will work out.
So I got a question for you, hypothetical. Just think about this for 1 second. Now that there is no amateur rules for colleges, let's just say, and I bring up this name because we all have heard of him, right? He's nationally known already. Arch Manning. And I am not saying that Arch Manning is doing anything, okay? I'm just going to use him as a hypothetical because it would seem
he's not even on Twitter.
It would seem to me that we don't care about amateurism anymore. I don't know if in the state of Louisiana there are amateur rules for high school players. But what's to stop if he wanted to? And obviously his family doesn't really have to worry about cash. But let's just say Arch Manning got offered $2 million from some company to say,
whatever.
Me and my family, we love driving in a Cadillac. Okay, I'm just making that up. What's to stop that now from a high school kid that might
if I see Arch rolling around
well
in a Cadillac.
Okay.
But I see what you
a
I
Porsche.
get your point.
I don't care what car it is. It could be my Genesis or Hyundai, folks. Yeah. I'm just saying to you, what's to stop since it doesn't matter anymore in college? It would not stop him of having college eligibility. What's to stop Arch Manning from cashing in on his notoriety, and at age, 16 or 17? At that age, already taking in a couple of mil to put in a 401k for his children 15, 20 years from now. It's crazy.
Yeah, nothing. And let them do it. And I think it's fine. It will get to a point where it's not as newsy as it has been now 2 days into it, but that point doesn't look like it's anytime soon because we're seeing deals across the college sports spectrum.
We are. And, look, if you can get it, if you're – and I have no idea if –
get it.
If
Ain't that America?
Web Apps America
right here on the birthday time.
Wants influence and wants to do business with the dad. I just – but the kid is able. It's in his name. He can do that with whatever he wants with that $2 million. He's already said because apparently, I think Master P is pretty darn wealthy. I'll have to Google his net worth, but he's already said that $2 million he's starting to get. He said, "I'm getting a Tesla. Other than that, I'm going to give back to the community." So I give Hersey Miller.
That's nice.
A heads up.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Master P, give me a guess on his net worth.
I'm going to say $800 million.
200.
380.
Overestimated.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
200 million?
I said 380. Okay.
You went high.
That's nice.
800 million. Wow. My God.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people in the music industry are worth $1 billion. Look at Beyonce. Look at Jay-Z. Look at the money.
Look up Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen is like $400 million, I'm going to say. Oh, he's looking at me
I wouldn't even
like
hazard
I'm
a
nuts.
guess.
We're waiting.
500.
500. I was 100 million off.
Half bill.
Yeah.
Way to go, boss.
Yeah.
But
What is
50 years he's produced.
What is Billy Joel's net worth? I'm going to say it's in that same neighborhood.
Gotta be
Only 225.
But they've had
what?
$225.
You're kidding.
Wow. Yeah.
I would have thought
the
more.
divorce with Christy Brinkley.
That's
that
probably
had to be
hurt him.
expensive.
Yeah. See what Christy Brinkley is worth now, Will.
Yeah.
And add that together, and we'll know the real net worth right
But Bruce
there.
Springsteen's got a 40-year head start on Master P.
Yes, he does. Did you look up Christy Brinkley?
Yeah, I did. Okay, you want that?
Yeah.
$80 million.
Only 80?
Only 80.
Only 80?
Only 80.
Only 80, yeah.
Just good for a little knockaway house on the Hamptons, I guess.
Wow. Anyway, I'm just dumbfounded by what we're getting, and more, as much as these young guys can get now, if it's going to come their way, let it go. Here's the other.
It also shows how good the economy is, Dave, and we saw that
Yeah.
today with the jobs report and just about every metric. I know gas is going way up, but you got a 34,000 Dow, you're going to have expensive at the pump gasoline. It's not a supply, it's not a gas problem. It's that much demand. That's all good things.
Right.
Again, like we talked about yesterday, compared to a year ago. This weekend. Now, all these I'm getting ready to rattle off. I'm not telling you I'm going to watch a whole lot of these, but this weekend, and this is not a big TV viewing weekend. I know that you're going to have trouble with that, but you can watch Wimbledon, Olympic trials, Euro Cup, Tour de France, Irish Open, Rocket Mortgage, Stanley Cup, NBA, and baseball at every level. That's quite a smorgasbord, isn't it?
We have become a society of watching sports, no doubt. And
but what a
for one,
a buffet
am happy.
from bike riding around France to the Stanley Cup.
No, I know. And it seems as if it all gets collected toward the end in the summer now. And that was not the case in the past, but it has become.
Well, Stanley Cup's usually over by now.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball usually over by now.
Correct. Right. And
Olympic trials would have been done last year by now.
Right. Would have been over. It would have been an off year for that.
Euro Cup would have been done last year by now.
Yes. That is the 2020
We're
Euro
still-
Cup that we're still keeping that 2020 part of.
But, Dave, we're about to get all the airplanes lined up for the right takeoff. I mean, by August 1, we will be back calibrated properly.
Is the NBA going back to the old system? Where they're going to start?
Yes, they've already
October?
announced.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
October 19th, opening night.
Which I would have been just as happy if they'd have gone and done it December 9th or so to build up and make Christmas more their beginning and let it go into the summer. But
Well, that's what a lot of the Southern owners want, led by the Atlanta Hawks CFO, who said, we just can't fight college football in October, November, and December.
well, I think that's right.
With the Hawks.
And you're fighting NFL football. You would fight less of football.
But he named college football. That CFO named college football as the problem.
Well, I don't dispute that. I think that combination of those two, anything football, college or pro,
Anything.
wins. The television ratings
Wins.
shows that. Advertiser interest shows that. So
There are advertiser interest in that smorgasbord this weekend, and I do like watching the Tour de France. Me and you, we were texting, and it was later in the year last year. Those French countryside drone and blimp shots are just terrific.
they are. Well, and
I mean, you feel like you're in those little towns.
and the scenery is so gorgeous. If anybody's ever been to France at all, Provence,
I didn't do countryside.
man, you would fall in love with it. You would.
Did you drive?
Yes, I did.
Did you operate a vehicle?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. I have never told
How'd
you
that
my
go?
I've never told you my major mistake there. I really never have. Okay,
No.
I'll tell this very quick because I know we got to do top and knot. So
Right lane, left lane, different over there, isn't it?
we first arrive and we go to Paris, and then we decide we're going to Provence, and we take a train to
Sure.
that, and that's where it's set up, where we're going to start driving the French countryside, and I'm going to rent a car. So we get off the train, we go straight to the car dealer, and the car dealer goes to me, I got a great deal for you, because I was getting a stick shift, and I drove a stick shift for the first 10, 15 years of my life. After Steamboat,
Right-handed,
I
though.
did not get a stick shift. No, actually it's on. You're on the right side of the road in France.
Okay.
It's not like England. And the guy goes, and I can get it to you for like, I'm making this up, but it might have been no more than $20 a day more, probably 14 or 15. And I'm thinking, oh, this guy thinks I'm a sucker. No, I'm not going to do that. And I take and it was a Mercedes-Benz, by the way. And instead I get like, I don't know, some little French car with a stick shift. And let me tell you, I hadn't driven a stick shift in a long time. And my first encounter, I'm in a village with a road that I don't think the road is as wide as the studio is. And this dang truck, and I'm on an incline up, and this dang truck is like a garbage truck. And he's telling me, you go. I'm staying right here. You go. I mean to tell you, I'm popping clutches. And my wife's having a heart attack.
She wrecked the transmission.
And we didn't have a GPS at that time, which the Mercedes would have had. And so I don't know if you know about it. In Europe, they have all these roundabouts, which we're getting a few in this country, but it's all roundabouts there. You try to follow signs, road numbers, anything, any kind of information while you're driving in places you don't know with roundabouts, you can't figure it out. I mean, we're going round and round. Which one? It's the fifth part of the roundabout? Crazy. Nuts.
Was the co-pilot cracking on you hard?
Oh, well, I think the co-pilot, to be totally fair, was petrified.
I bet.
And I know she's going, my cheap husband, if he'd just gotten the... So every time we've rented a car, like
you've never told that story.
When we went to Italy, believe me, I got a car with GPS, and it was a bigger car, and it was automatic.
Spend the cash,
and then this is the truth: trying to get out of Florence to get to the countryside, the GPS wouldn't work. It kept sending me in a circle.
Oh man!
So now I got to
fight.
I got to fight with my wife or anybody we travel with because I like driving and I like riding the roads and figuring it all, and they don't like any part of it. They want to take trains. Heck with trains.
I like driving because it locks me in, makes me concentrate more on where I am. Look, this weekend, all that buffet of sports. Remember, you have to have the FanDuel app because we've all had that dream tie game, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded. And at FanDuel Sportsbook, you get more than one swing for the fences because FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free. That's right. This weekend, new users get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't pay off. There's a reason why FanDuel is Sportsbook America's #1 sportsbook app. There's a lot of reasons why. The app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlay, and always-on promotions this weekend to let you get more out of the action every day, whether it's the hockey or the NBA. When you win at FanDuel, they will pay you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. The baseball matchups this weekend are great. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code CASH. That's promo code CASH at FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for the risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions do apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Hit up the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. This hour of our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. You don't have to buy a stick shift there. They got that automatic transmission thing working for you at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com and all those cars. No kidding. The mapping, the GPS, all so good. I don't know how you get lost anymore. Give them a call at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Independence Day sales event. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500. No nervous co-pilots in those things, and you'll be looking and driving great. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
top story of the day.
Well, I really do believe it's still the NIL stuff when you're getting a kid going to Tennessee State who's going to get a $2 million deal. But I'm going to go with no Giannis, no problem, especially inside. 66 points in the paint, plus 30.
Mauled them.
For
Just mauled them
Lopez
inside.
and company. I mean, it was something else. And the Bucks are.
But Lopez looked like
now
Steve
up over
Nash out there
3-2.
hurling up threes.
How about the hooks that he was using? I like the hooks. He was terrific.
He was Bob Cousy and Bill Russell all in one game.
He was pretty good, and so was Drew Holiday. What do you have? 13 assists, I think, in that game. I know it was a double-double. He was outstanding, and you know, you just can't make any sense of the way these things work. The way that the Hawks played without Trae Young the game before and then looked totally lost, even though they hit 15 threes. I kept them in the game for a bit. 15 threes. And they actually had I think they had more second chance points. They would get so many long rebounds, deflect them to the corner, and then Bogdanovich or somebody would hit threes. Gallinari. That kept them in there a little bit, but the inside problem was too much. And if Lopez and Middleton and Holiday play this way, Giannis or no Giannis, even with Trae Young coming back, Milwaukee's just a better team. They should win this series.
They should. And the Bucks and the Suns, it might have been a year or two difference, but they came into the league at about the same time. Bucks won it in 71. Suns never won it. My top story, halfway point for Major League Baseball. We're there in games, and we're there with the second big summer holiday when you kind of look at the standings on Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, a full 162 games this year instead of that 60-gamer last year. One more summertime holiday to go after this one, Labor Day, and then we'll have the September push, postseason. And if the playoffs started today, they don't. They start about 3 months from today. But if they started today, here's the seeds in the American League. 1, Boston. 2, Chicago. 3, Houston. Wild card 1, Tampa Bay, hosting. Wild card 2, Oakland, visiting. National League, San Francisco, the 1 seed from the West. 2 from the Central, Milwaukee. 3 seed, Mets. Look out for the Nats. Here they come. Wild card 1 would be Dodgers. Wild card 2 would be San Diego. I'm calling it now. I'm ready for a Tampa Bay-San Diego World Series.
That'd be something. I'm calling this. There will be 3 representatives of the National League West that make the playoffs.
I think that's a lock
in my mind.
What about Chris Bryant to the Nationals?
That would just make me absolutely sick. I don't know really now if the Cubs can come back.
6 games back in the all-important loss column.
The only thing is, I think that for the most part, the Cubs have the most difficult portion of their schedule out of the way. They'll be playing a lot of the National League Central teams from here on out. They're not very good. I don't know that Milwaukee is really all that good. They got hot at the right time. Cubs are going to get them, and Milwaukee's got to play.
Reds are good at home.
Milwaukee's got to play the majority of their harder games starting in the next few weeks, all the way to the end of the year when they play the Dodgers in the last series. They still got plenty of games with the Cubs. If I'm the Ricketts and I'm thinking about my fandom and everybody feeling good about going to that new Wrigleyville district for entertainment, I wouldn't be selling quite yet. I think it's a little premature. That's just me.
Not top story of the day.
Well, the PGA Tour's got some controversies going on, that is for certain. Hideki Matsuyama, of course, because I picked him, tested positive for COVID, so he's had to withdraw from the Rocket Mortgage showdown in Detroit. You've got your guy, Bryson DeChambeau, silent, not talking to the media after his caddy left him, and he missed the cut today. He's really in shambles. He had the U.S. Open. I think
crushed me.
What is he? He's won one other time since the U.S. Open, I think.
Not much.
Yeah, I think he's had one W, and he's really not done much. He's not lived up to the Bunyan-esque sort of elevated position that we put him into. And I don't have a particular personal problem with him, but he seems to rub people the wrong way. Brooks Koepka, and now his own caddy, who by all accounts is the most easygoing, analytical, nice guy of all the caddies. And he's PO'd him to where, in everybody's account, he left DeChambeau. He just said, I can't do this anymore with you. It came from a Pro-Am. So, And then you've got this. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about this later because it's too intense to go to. But Phil Mickelson is basically saying, I'm not coming back to Detroit because a writer for the Detroit News wrote an article about how he got robbed out of $500,000 from a bookie in Detroit 13 years ago. What? And he's so mad he's not going to come back to Detroit? I mean, that's absurd. We'll get into, what the responsibility a reporter has for his community, because that's really the tie into this. We'll get into that at some other time. You're not top.
My not top story, of course, Milwaukee made it look easy without Giannis. And Brook Lopez, he looked like Steph Curry at times last night. Milwaukee one game away from their first final since 1974. That was a loss to Boston. Phoenix awaits the winner. Kareem in that 1974 finals, that was it for him with the Bucks. I think that was his last year, maybe 75, but right in there. Kareem averaged 32 a game in that 7-game classic.
Well, wasn't Oscar Robertson getting him the ball?
Was he still with them?
I'm pretty sure he was
74?
Still. I think he was. We'll double check that on the break. Those are your top and your not top stories. We're sitting here in the Family Leisure Studios. This is a good weekend to get by. There's all kinds of deals going on. Great pricing on in-stock and on incoming products. Keep the kids active. Those play gyms in stock, ready for delivery. I always recommend the professional installation, and they will do that for you. There's markdowns on remaining game room products. Check out the prices on those wonderful massage chairs. And hot tubs are going fast. Reserve yours now before the cold weather will come, and it will come, but we still got a couple of months. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40, where family and fun all come together. We take a break, and when we come back, we'll chat with our friend Alan Bell from CBSSportsline.com.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Sunrise Buick GMC is having their annual tent sale, and the selection or savings are bigger than ever. A huge selection to choose from, big discounts from factory rebates high as $6,000. It's okay if you've got slow credit. Sunrise has over $500 million available for immediate financing with interest low as 0%, an $18 million used car inventory. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $10,000. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Savings and fun for all ages. The 33rd annual tent sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
It's on at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike with the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. And we can put you in a new Kia today for less than $5 a day. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month. 2021 Kia Soul, $137 a month. Both 36-month leases, $39.79 due at signing. And Built in America 2021 K5, $169 a month. $29.99 due at signing, 36-month lease. And get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up to your Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte ME 3716, MSRP 20,930. Sold M7144946, MSRP 20,515. K5 MGO 21674, MSRP 26170. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. With approved credit warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offers valid through 6/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stotts. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Happy 4th of July. Working our way toward the weekend on this very nice, sunshiny, not too high in humidity Friday afternoon. Hope it's going to be a safe one full of fireworks and joy for all of you over the weekend. It's been a joy to get to chat 2 weeks in a row with the wonderful writer from CBS Sports, Alan Bell, who joins us. He is the expert on handicapping, and our good friend Bruce Marshall is off again this week, gallivanting in Europe. We're hoping he's having a good time, too. Alan, there's a few stories out here that are just amazing. The Hersey Miller story today, where this young man who's a high school basketball prospect, the son of Master P, has decided that he's going to go to an HBCU. But on top of that, he netted himself a $2 million NIL deal today with a company called Web Apps America. And I'm really not sure what that company is all about, but I am certain now this NIL money, it is for real. What is your sense of how this is going to impact college sports from here, amateurism from here on out?
Yeah, it definitely is real. So first off, I appreciate you guys having me back. Yeah, I mean, that's a massive number. For anybody, whether you're in college or in the pros. And look at TSU. I mean, they've got Master P's son, Eddie George, is the football coach now. Like, they're coming up for sure. I'll say this. It's been a long time coming. And, there are a lot of athletes that have put in a lot of time and made a lot of money for a lot of schools and a lot of people. Now, I certainly understand the thought process of how it will affect, amateurism and the game. But again, these guys deserve something, right? And if it changes the game, then it changes the game. But you can't just keep them out of all of it forever. But I don't think that it's going to have too terribly much of an effect, because we could hear people say, "Oh, the NCAA, the schools, like, they're not going to do anything." You think they're going to get away from this cash cow? No, right? Like, college football's not going anywhere. College basketball's not going anywhere. Right. But here's the thing, though. Here's where it's perfect. Because the NIL part actually gives the NCAA and these schools an out. And they could say, look, you are free in the open market to do what everyone else can do, and we want you to make as much money as possible. But we don't have to pay you as employees now, which was, the conversation the last year or two. So in turn, this actually could end up better for these schools in the NCAA. I think we can get away from that conversation. You don't have to bring in, Title IX issues, et cetera, things like that. It's going to be hell, for compliance department people for a little while till they get a wrap on this thing. But, long story short, I think it's good. And I think it gives the NCAA and these schools a chance to say, you know what, our hands are out of this. Do what you do. But we don't have to worry about paying you out of our own money. And they could certainly get, a little bit of percentage as well.
Alan, I'm with you on a compliance department that in a lot of places are underfunded and understaffed, and it's a really thankless job at a lot of compliance departments. I mean, you see people around departments just run at the sight of the compliance people because basically they are the in-house rat. at a lot of places. They have to call the NCAA when others already probably should have done it or shouldn't have gotten had the indiscretion. So they're already looked upon not very favorably by a lot of people. Here, let me throw this at you from the compliance front. Let's say it makes it easier on them because now we're not running down A.J. Green's jersey. We're not running down a bunch of jaywalking and double parking. We really now are just looking at the big stuff.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, let's also be honest with this. The reason a lot of these compliance people exist is because of coaches, not anybody else. I mean, boosters have something to do with it, but,
right.
Let's not act like, I'm not putting all this, on the players. I'm with you. I think that, once they kind of figure out this, initial Wild West period, and they get a feel on it, yeah. I mean, it's something to where, if, local restaurant, is paying, a student, that plays basketball or whatever, great, man. Like, fantastic. Do what you do. It has nothing to do with us whatsoever. The issues are going to come up, obviously, in recruiting. They're going to come up with players in the transfer portal. There are going to be situations with that. I don't have all the answers. They're certainly much more intelligent than I am, and there are things to work out in regards to that. But for the most part, I'm with you. You just kind of, hey, any other student here can get paid. Do what you do.
I thought at first, I wondered about Title IX here because you can't control a sponsor if a sponsor wants a guy. But, the story of the Cavender girls, the twin basketball players at Fresno State that are already social media savvy, they're going to make a bunch of money too. So I do think that I don't know if it'll be totally equitable, but I do think that the women's stars will get their fair share too, and that will be terrific. I don't know what happens with the transfer portal if you're a guy who's already getting a whole bunch of. Let's say you signed. I want to say the Hersey Miller story. That's a 4-year deal, so he goes to the pros. Well, why not? If you're Web Apps America, you probably want him to keep on doing that because he's still going to have some sort of limelight. But if you sign a deal coming out as the starting point guard and then you don't make the starting unit, maybe your second or third string, what happens then? And if you've done the deal, are you really going to transfer? Or is the money more important? These are dilemmas we never thought about before.
No, never. And, that I think that's an excellent question. And I think it brings up another good point of, who are going to be representing some of these guys. Like, we've already seen Spencer Radler, sign with Lee Steinberg, right, and an agency, which sounds crazy saying that because generally that would get your whole school, shut down. But, there are going to be situations with that to where, yeah, I mean, you're going to want someone working these deals. But, again, I don't think that a majority of the players are going to have to worry about that. I think we're going to be looking very local in terms of the businesses, that will, get involved with them. I think it'll take a little time for that as well. I can see them being wary about, what to do and how to do it because most of them are just small business owners that have a restaurant or something, right? They've really dealt with before. So, yeah, I mean, there are going to be some pitfalls, but we'll work through it. And, that's really all that we can do. And to your point, I was making the same point this morning on Twitter. Female athletes in college are going to do very, very well with this. Their social media savviness is through the roof. Their engagements are through the roof. Any company that invests with them is going to get a great ROI because, again, it's all about the impact that company gets. And for the most part, you're seeing it already that these women athletes are almost better. Right, they're more prepared for this, so I think it's fascinating. Like I just love sitting back and kind of watching it. And the markets, it's gonna change and flip because this is brand new to everybody, but it's certainly exciting.
Dallas Cowboys named today as the team that Hard Knocks will go up close and personal with them through the training camp, and we're getting close to more and more NFL and camp getting close to starting. Are there any bets out there, season totals or individual player 2021 totals, pro or college, that you've really got circled that maybe somebody should get to or go to the app or get to the book, the legal book, and put some money on some of these totals or season forecasts, Alan?
Yeah, definitely. So first off, it's interesting that Hard Knocks is obviously going to be with the Cowboys, and the most popular person is going to be the owner, not the player, right? Like Dak's certainly going to get all the coverage coming back from his injury, but Jerry Jones is going to get some face time too. But I think it's good for the brand. Obviously, Dallas Cowboys, they bring eyeballs to it. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at some win totals, at least in the NFL, I've kind of started going through college football. It's a little more expansive to do, but I'll say this is a 17-game season. Remember that, okay? So when you start seeing these numbers, remember it's 17 games, not 16. So you get the Kansas City Chiefs at 12 wins. So that means that if they lose 5 games, I still push this bet. I'm going over all day. I don't think that they lose 3 games.
Wow.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you get 5 as an insurance, and you still push. So I love that bet. I love the Bills over 10.5. I think they're going to be a fantastic football team again this year.
I agree with that.
Better. Yeah, and I think that, not that they're going to run through the division, because I don't think the AFC East is terrible, but they're going to rack up some wins, and they can play ball on both sides of it. They can put up points. So I like that one. You look at the Atlanta Falcons, somewhere around 7. I think that they're going to be a better team. Their new head coach, is going to do good things down there. We've seen that offense, obviously, here in Tennessee, for the past couple of years. Like, Arthur Smith knows what he's doing. And Matt Ryan is going to have a great year. I guarantee you that, because Arthur Smith knows what he's doing with the quarterbacks and his weapons around him. So, over 7, I like that one for sure. There will be some more pop up, but those 3 are my favorites, especially the Chiefs. I mean, you might have to pay a little bit of juice, maybe 120, somewhere around there, but you're going to be 5, losses with them, and I still push. Yeah, I'm taking that all day.
You had me counting on my fingers and toes with that new math, 17 games.
Yeah. Well, the overs seem to be you like those better than some of the unders. I'm curious.
And they're more fun. The unders too sweat worthy. I mean, you
right.
got to grind.
You do.
I don't think you should bet an under in anything.
Hey, I'll tell you this. Let me say this. The only under that I'm going to bet, I'm going to take you out of football for a second, okay?
Okay.
This Sunday, all right, the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Let me tell you this. We brought in an expert to break this thing down, all right? Joey Chestnut, over-under set at 73.5 hot dogs. He ate 75 last year.
Right.
But that was in the bubble, the hot dog eating bubble, indoors, no crowd. He's going to be outside. It's like 1,000 degrees across the country. Crowd is back. I bet that affects him for at least 3 hot dogs, right? So I'm going under for that. If anybody's having fun on Sunday, you'll take a look at that one.
Alan, you got to tell me. First of all, I watched, believe it or not, part of the good, the bad, and the hungry. There's a new 30 for 30 out on the Nathan's hot dog thing and the Joey Chestnut Kobayashi feud or rivalry, whatever the heck you want to call it. Yeah. I have this question for you. This is perfect for a guy who's a handicapper. When does age become a factor? You remember, Kobayashi's younger. He started as like a 15-year-old. Nobody knew about him, and he really made this Nathan's Eating contest happen. But
he did.
But Kobayashi is rather Joey Chestnut's older. And this is they were like starting in 2006, so we're 15 years later. He can't eat like he used to, can he?
Well, I'll say this. I think he's won 13 of the last 14.
Yeah.
He's won 5 straight. I don't think it's necessarily
That's Tiger Woods of eating.
He is.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily age. What I think it is how many more times do I really want to do this?
Right.
Like you know it's got to be an onslaught on your body.
Oh, it's
like
terrible.
3 days after it.
Some serious purging.
Yeah, I mean, and at some point, like, you just kind of hang the cup of water up, right? You're just done with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody in the crowd, in the other contestants, they could take him down. I think it's going to be a Tom Brady situation where he just says, "Look, I'm done. Like I've done everything I can.
I'm the
I want
goat.
to go live my life." I think that's how we bring it down.
Yeah, I love it. All right, last thing.
What a way to wrap it up with the Tom Brady comparison.
Let me get one last thing in, I mean this sincerely. With all the injuries that have taken place, we've been joking. It's a matter of survival in the NBA playoffs. How hard has it been to prognosticate any kind of fair lines with all of the injuries that have taken place.
It's been impossible, and especially in the series that we're going to see tomorrow with the Bucks and the Hawks. I mean, every time that you think that you have a feel on one of those teams, it goes completely the other way and in a blowout fashion, right? So that series has been really, really difficult. But I will say this. Whether they, the Bucks end it tomorrow or we go to a Game 7, the Phoenix Suns are sitting here resting. And not only that, they're healthy. So I think that we get some consistency in the fact that whoever comes out of the East, the Suns are probably going to have their way with them, at least for the first couple games. The same thing that we saw with them against the Clippers, just because, again, they're fully rested and they're fully healthy. They're not dealing with all this. So it's been brutal, man. And we're going to see it again tomorrow. The Hawks, I think, are a 2-point favorite. Who in the world knows what's going to happen in that game?
Yeah, I love the Suns, and I think they're terrific. And I think they still would have won all these series, but if you look at every one of them, no Murray in Denver, there's been a key player out in every one of their series. It is mind-boggling, but if Chris Paul continues to play like that, and Ayton and Booker, they're not losing. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate this. Happy 4th of July. And again, we'll be talking soon.
Hey, look forward to it. You guys as well. Have a safe, happy weekend. Y'all take care.
That is Alan Bell, the handicapper from CBS Sports. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on our number one on this Friday, the 4th of July, Friday on Sports Time.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Willochen and Brett Norsworthy.
As we cruise into the weekend, I know many of you are thinking about golf. Lower humidity, the golf courses are going crazy. Miramichi's going crazy because now all the folks from the Bubba Conley, they're gone. You can get on tomorrow, and you will love what you see. You want to go play where the best amateurs in the country, the young, I guess up to 18, you can still play in the Bubba Conley. They've all been at Miramichi. 7,400 yards. The boys were playing it back that far. The girls, I want to say the girls were playing it at about 62, 6,300. I can tell you it sits on 330 acres. And whether you're playing that 7,400 or you're going to be older and you're going to play way up, no matter what, you are going to be in love with all of the natural beauty. The back nine, well, it's like taking a walk through the woods with a stream that seems to be omnipresent and waterfalls, and it's really a delight and so reasonable. You know, yesterday if you played and you were 30, I should say you were a senior, you're talking about $30, and that includes cart, complimentary range balls, a practice area that is better than most country clubs. That's the truth. And then even the weekend rates, you want to go, July the 4th, you'll pay $49, and you'll still get the cart and the golf balls and everything else. I mean, you just cannot beat the deal. And then afterwards, you want to go up to that redone patio and just sit back, have a cold one. They got a full-service bar. They got food up there. They got music up there some weekends. And look out at the lakes and the sky, and they got a few water pumps going. I mean, it's really a beautiful sight. So take advantage. If you're going to play golf this weekend and you have never tried this gem that we have in North Memphis, you have got to go check out Miramichi.
Dave, you brought up a subject matter earlier that I love, and we have to give it more time. Then we're tight, okay. But we may have to come back to this. And you helped me on this a few weeks ago with a guest, and a long time ago concerning Phil Mickelson. One year, and it was in some tougher days for the golf tournament here. And Phil Mickelson's here, and it was in the middle of one of those gambling IRS imbroglio scandals that he could find himself in.
Right.
And he's doing his media. And I asked you, I went to you as a friend. I said, should I ask him about it, tee it up about him? You said, how worth it is it to you? How worth it is it to you? What if you made him mad and he said, I'm never coming back to Memphis? And we needed him badly then to keep the golf tournament alive. You said to me just how worth it is going there with him. And I thought, well, it's not worth all that. And we got too many friends here in St. Jude and FedEx trying to save it and friends of ours trying to save it. So I did not. And a few weeks ago, we had a guest on that I told you I'm going to go this direction and some questioning. And you said, how worth it is it? Is it really that big a deal? And it wasn't. And I didn't go there, and I was glad I didn't. So now Phil Mickelson's going to take it out on the good folks of that golf area this is only the second or third year back as a regular PGA Tour stop in the Detroit area. So he's going to take it out on those fans over some pinhead at the newspaper.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I did not like any of this story with Phil Mickelson. I really did not. And I think Phil's hurt himself here because I don't know how many will side with
real
him
bad look
in this. But it was even the way he said it. He was trying to be a nice guy. Oh, it's nothing against the great people of Detroit that I love them.
But I'm out of here.
But wait, you don't know the effort that I had to go through to come to this tournament. Really? That hard for you because you're so busy and, it's difficult
did he
for
fly
you
commercial?
to get in that private jet and get put up by the folks of Rocket Mortgage in some luxury place somewhere around Detroit, which has some pretty nice areas.
Did he drive from Cromwell, Connecticut to Detroit?
Come on. He basically said, normally – I don't play after the U.S. Open, but I heard great
I don't know how germane the story is, but that reporter with it being local, I won't say he had a responsibility. He or she had I don't know what the gender, but I don't know if they had a responsibility. But it was not an out of bounds question. I don't know how germane, but it wasn't out of nowhere.
Well, I don't think it was even a question. I think it was a story that was written about how a guy there robbed.
I know you're right.
Basically robbed Phil out of $500,000. And
Phil looked like a dupe.
And
he was duped,
and he was, and he is saying, "I went way out of my way to come to your tournament to be a nice guy. This is how I get treated. I'm never coming back." That is exactly the essence of that conversation, and I think it makes Phil look terrible. And Phil has to sometimes embrace some of his other side, too. When you were going to ask him, if I recall correctly, that wasn't even gambling. That was insider information that he could have gone to prison for.
It was the Securities and Exchange Commission. That's exactly right, Dave.
That's exactly right.
But you did. You said, how worth it is this, Brett? I mean, come on.
And we know now he would never have come back. And in those days, when we were the FESJC,
oh my goodness,
we would have been in big trouble.
How'd I face those people? Or if it had gotten to that tipping point. But I didn't want to hurt St. Jude. I didn't want to hurt the event. And you said, look, weigh all this out.
Well, it's a good thing now. Now we know what he's like. And that's an hour in the books. We got to take
the voice of reason, David William Willow.
We got to take a time out. When we come back, we are going to talk with our friend from Nashville, a recruiting guru, but a whole lot more. Wise guy, nice man. Bill King will join us. He comes your way next on hour number 2 of Sports Time on this Friday on Sports 56.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. The things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
Hey, Mid-South, we're ready to wow you at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike with the Enjoy Your Summer in Style sales event. And there's no better road trip than in a new ride. Get 40 MPG Highway with 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $14,735 or $189 a month. Need a little extra room? 7-passenger 2020 Outlander with Tri-Zone Climate Control, $349 a month. Plus 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $25,975 or $299 a month. All powered by a stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 stock number MHF 06284, MSRP 17735, Outlander NZO 11927, MSRP 30540, Cross NZ 004494, MSRP 27725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Oh, yeah. Happy 4th of July. We'll bring you into the holiday. You got Wallo, you got Stats, you got Gabe Kuhn. And we've got all kinds of crazy stories going on today. There's a national story, and some of that really emanates from the great city of Nashville, and that is where we are going to start hour number 2. We go to our friend in Nashville, Bill King, longtime sportscaster in that market, and he is a recruiting expert. So let us start with Hersey Miller. And if people don't know, Hersey Miller is the son of Master P. He is I guess a very good basketball player. Had LSU, USC offers, decided to go to Tennessee State. He wanted to go to an HBCU school, and he just signed a deal with Web Apps America that guarantees him in the new NIL $2 million. Bill King, happy 4th to you to start. Thank you for being with us today. What kind of a player is Hersey Miller?
Pretty good.
And rich now.
Yeah, TSU normally doesn't recruit that level of player. Now, they've got a history. Truck Robinson back in the day. I mean, they've had some famous players, but yeah, you usually don't think about TSU when you think about basketball recruiting. But obviously, the connection with the power and the muscle of his dad is the reason why he's getting this contract. If he was the same player and his name was Bill King, there wouldn't be any news today.
Bill, we're a long way from the player not being able to go out and get a pizza with his girl, aren't we?
Oh man, yeah, that's and people are going to get some false impression that sets some kind of market price. That is absolutely not what this does.
No,
the market's what somebody will pay you.
Right.
Yeah, and in this particular case, and I think
we know that in radio.
We sort of guessed it at this assertion. I think Bill is saying this, that the relationship that Web Apps America wants to have with Master P is a part of this deal, is it not?
Has to be. I haven't. I saw the news like you did, guys, and I didn't dig into it much, but it has to be. I mean, to me, that's obvious.
Bill, going forward, do you think coaches will try to tie some of their sponsors? And Dave and I were talking yesterday. We're a long way from Charlie Thornton doing Coach Bryant's show, eating potato chips and drinking Coca-Colas. Do you think coaches will try to either surreptitiously or above board try to tie some of their contacts to a potential recruit?
Supposedly, that's against the rules. University employees, anybody affiliated with the meaning working, getting paid, coaches, teachers, ADs. But you just said surreptitiously. It's got to go on. And here's the other item, guys, and I've spent some time on my show about this. The NCAA, who's going to police this? The NCAA is not policing anything anymore. They are basically an organization that runs tournaments. So I don't know how any of this is going to get policed. And they also say you cannot do anything to entice an unsigned, meaning a recruit, with NIL promises. There is no way that can be policed.
Well, that's already taken place. Kentucky, for Jalen Duran, had a booster on their own website basically say, I'll buy $1 million worth of shirts if he comes to this school. So we already know that's taken place.
And we already have proof that it won't be policed. Guys, we are basically Christopher Columbus. We just pulled up, and
Right.
there's a huge countryside. We're about to find out what we're going to get.
Yeah, it is the Wild Wild West. There's no
Right.
question about it, and it's almost mind-boggling that you could do all of this. And I was talking with Brett earlier. What if there's a great local high school kid that has some national tie, and I bring up Arch Manning for that very reason, because of the family that he's from, and not that he needs the money, but if there's no amateurism left in college, and that is not something that would keep you from your career unless there are written rules in Louisiana I'm not aware of. I really don't know. I mean, why couldn't this start with really, really top-notch recruits in high school?
There is not a bigger name in sports on the planet Earth when it comes to NIL and the Manning name. Now, that one's going to be interesting because, again, I would assume the family, if you total them up, they're $100 million and above. That's net worth. I'm probably sliding them some.
Oh, I think you are.
Right. But and again, it's not like he would ever have problems swiping a credit card if there was no NIL. He's probably going to have anything he wants. But he's going to be able to command, now, I'm going to say millions. I don't know how many zeros we need here, but before he ever gets to a pro team, he'll have millions in his pocket.
What a time. What a time. Bill, in all your years of recruiting, and you have covered it so well, you know it so well, and you go back to truly, I think, the beginning of it being a phenomenon in the recruiting circles. Who's the biggest college football recruit that you've ever covered, and will Arch Manning eclipse that?
Peyton Manning's got to be one. Now, maybe it's because we're in the South. I mean, if we lived in San Francisco right now, we'd have a different answer, right? But I mean, that has to be. I remember that his spring was '94. His last year was the '93, fall, and people were talking about him from about his sophomore year forward for obvious reasons. And not only that, but that's back when we would call players nightly to get, lists and see what they were doing.
Right.
Nobody.
That's when you had that 900 number, right?
Yeah. That makes me sad. That was a lot of money. But we'd call Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning would treat you like he knew you forever. He was never rude. I'm sure that phone rang around the clock. He knew all the teams. He knew everything about all the teams. He knew everything about all the staffs. Nobody was more prepared than him well before he made a decision. That one would have to be right at the very top. I mean, the list is probably endless. But when you have a brand name like Manning, I don't know that you get bigger than that.
Well, I think it was probably a little before you, but Herschel and Bo, think about what they would have made. Because we know they made plenty anyway.
Bo wasn't even the biggest in state that year, though. Lenny Patrick was bigger.
Yeah, Bo kind of blew up in a track meet where he won basically everything. But he was also an outstanding baseball player, and he weighed, 220 and ran like he was a Olympic 100-meter champion. Yeah, Herschel was huge. And I was there. I was in Knoxville for that opening game, and I was just a freshman that same year. I'd already been hearing about him for a year, and the big thing was this guy's so good, but he played single-A ball. I wonder if he can go in the SEC, and of course he did immediately.
Right.
But that was huge, and there was a lot of things offered to him, and it came down basically to Georgia and Clemson.
I'll tell you who would have been big too is Marcus Dupree.
He was.
Yeah, but
Willie Morris wrote a book about it.
You weren't going to beat Barry Switzer on that one. I don't care if it's today or back then. You're not going to win Can you imagine Barry Switzer with the weaponry of NIL?
Oh, gosh.
Might be better than some Defense Department weaponry,
It's
Bill.
a little bit like John Calipari at Kentucky with NIL.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Switzer, he's aged. He looks like he could coach. And I've had him on. It's been a few years. He'll talk about anything. His snit with Darrell Royal, they had a famous snit about Oklahoma spying on Texas, which they did spy on their practices. They had a rich oil man. They had a rich oil man over there who played like he was a construction worker, and he sat over there and watched practice, took notes, and would send it to him. But, yeah, Switzer's a gem if you can ever get him.
Yeah, they had people, and one of his assistant coaches that went back to my high school, they had people dressed as like painters and remodelers to the locker room. And finally, they said that Coach Royal said, "How many times do we got to repaint the locker room? Who are these people?"
Trust me, I believe it.
But Bill, you mentioned Herschel Walker's recruitment. What was the Georgia assistant Mike Cavan that literally lived in Wrightsville for about a year recruiting him when you, I guess you could legally do that. He did it, I think.
Mike Cavan. There was a period of time, yes, where big name recruits, and in the 70s, guys, people think that recruiting's only become popular. Recruiting's been crazy about what people would do to get players for centuries, embellishing here a little bit. And yeah, back then, if you big name guy, you would have a coach or coaches basically find a room at a hotel nearby. There's even stories of coaches spending the night at the house so they could get the kids signed right at the morning signing day.
I can tell you that one with D'Angelo Williams. Both Tommy West and Randy Fiechner rented a mobile home and parked right across the street from D'Angelo's mom's house. No question about that one.
Right. It was recruiting. The difference in recruiting today is every millisecond is covered, right? Every breath a kid takes, somebody's tweeting about it. We used to not have that, but it was crazy back then.
Bill, this football season on the field for the Tennessee Vols, what are the reasonable expectations?
I think if they got to 6 games, and we don't know if they'll be eligible yet for a bowl game, but I think 6 wins, the offense is better because it basically was bankrupt a year ago. They're going to have trouble on defense. They're just so depleted personnel-wise. If they got to 6 wins and look like there's something to build on, particularly offensively, I think it's a success.
I got to ask you about Jalen Duran, the young man that is reclassifying. He's gone in one of the services from 2 to 1. How good a player is he?
Now, you're talking about the Big Post kid, right?
Yeah. He's reclassifying.
Just from what I've talked to, I have not watched the film or anything on him, but from what I understand, they think he is potentially now, and again, put air quotes around that, a generational type talent. Yeah. Now, again, you guys, we've been around a while. I'm more cautious every year when it comes to praising a kid because we've seen all kinds of things happen, but that's what we're told about him. And I usually ask coaches, what do you think? And most of them won't BS you because there's no reason to privately BS you, and that's what you hear.
I guess the closest thing that I've seen in the last few years to a generational guy, other than LeBron, who was a generational guy, is Zion.
Right.
Wiseman would have been, Dave.
Generational? I think
so.
I think he would have been really, really, really good.
I told you, I saw Wiseman here as a freshman at Innsworth. He was here, and he was a 6'9", about 150-pound guy out there running around. He really wasn't any good. And the next thing I know, he's the number 1 player in America because he grew and he got bigger. But I saw him in a fast-paced game as a true freshman in high school. And there's this big tall kid out there, but he was out of place at the time. And lo and behold, what did he become? Now, I'll give you one. College baseball, I saw Kumar Rocker in 7th grade. And my kids played against Kumar Rocker in 7th grade. And he was average.
Really?
That changed.
Really?
That changed. Yeah, he was very average. He was 6'2" already, probably 190, probably threw 70 miles an hour. See, his dad was on the Titans staff,
Right.
and then when they all got fired, he ended up at Georgia. So they moved over there to Georgia, and he finished everything out in high school in Georgia. And I blink, and he's the number one recruit in America.
So tell the truth. Did your kids hit him?
My kid pitched against him and beat him.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
He
Whoa.
struck him out like 4 times, too. Now, 2 years later, that was reversed, but quickly.
Did your son play college baseball?
Would have, but something, you guys probably have never heard of this. Tommy John.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've heard of it.
I know. Yeah, Tommy John. And you
Bill,
know how a lot of these guys recover, and sometimes they're better. He never recovered.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bill, your son beating Kumar Rocker, that's up there. Kenny Stabler loved telling the story of high school American Legion baseball, of him pitching and beating Don Sutton in the Mobile area.
Wow. That's just well, now let me ask you this. I know this is, high school? But was this in between beers, or what was Kenny doing at the time?
Right.
Well, it was in between beers with the snake telling the story for sure.
That's right.
So
and the more beer, the better the story got.
But probably the better he pitched, knowing him.
Since you bring up Rocker and you bring up Vandy, how much, is there any criticism going on with Tim Corbin, or is it just lamenting that it could have been back-to-back, but especially after game one, but the better team won? What's the attitude around Nashville?
Not at all. He's the best baseball coach in college and has been. And this team got more out of their talent than probably they should have. And to be in that last game is it. Let me put it this way: if to start the season, you're told you're going to make it all the way to the last game and Rocker's on the mound, inning 1, you're going to say 100 times, "I'll take it."
Right?
I'll
no
take
doubt.
it.
Yeah.
I'll take it, and I'll probably bet on myself there. But the problem, and again, they gave up a bunch of runs. But Vandy's bigger problem was their bats 1 through 9 just weren't consistent this year,
And their defense was terrible in those last 2 games.
And here's the thing about that, guys: it was outstanding all the way until then. It looked like T-ball errors we were watching.
Bill, I love the story of you being in the stands that night for the Larry Munson legendary call of he's just a freshman in Georgia in the red pants playing Tennessee, and the Bill Bates moment. Bill Bates had a great career. It's a shame he kind of got to find college. I was not there. I was listening to the John Ward call of it, and if you'll remember, that was the same Saturday night. No TV, so I'm listening. You had to listen, and that same Saturday night, I think, was one of those legendary McEnroe Connors U.S. Open either final or semifinals.
Not only was I there, guys, but I was already 3 or 4 years into my recruiting passion.
Were you really?
I'm there. I am there, waiting on the most talked about player I've ever heard of at that point in my life, meaning high school to college.
Yeah.
Skeptical because they said he didn't do anything in practice. He did not show them anything that he could do or effectively help them in camp prior to that game. And remember, he didn't even really play until the second half. That's when he got going. And then my mouth's agape as I'm watching this develop later in the game.
Wow. I did not realize. So while you were in college, that is when you started getting into this recruiting thing that, you were really part of the early groundswell of those 900 numbers and cashing in on the passion that people had for it.
Between chemistry labs and classes, would go to the University of Tennessee library, go right to the newspaper rack, search every newspaper coast to coast for anything about a high school player. and that's like, look, back then, that's 1980. That's a needle in a haystack, right?
Yeah.
We're trying, and again, those papers are 3 days late. They don't arrive the same day. And I was going to go to medical school, and then just flamed out. Just decided I couldn't. Got my degree and said I can't go any further. And never thought about radio. Never thought about recruiting, other than I had a passion for it. I'll just give you a quick story too. 900 number company calls me about 1990 and says it's out of Philadelphia. We'd like you to do this. We think you could make money. I turned it down because everything about 900 numbers was the adult industry, and I thought it would be embarrassing. My then girlfriend, soon-to-be wife, said, "You are an idiot. Do this." The first month I did it, after everybody got their cut, 1990, my cut was almost $50,000. 1 month.
Yes, sir.
1 month in 1990, you got that kind of money?
1 month.
Wow.
Now, 2 years later, it was done. The internet started taking
Right.
and I knew that would happen. I planned for that. I sat there and looked in the mirror and said, "Hey, dude, don't count too much here. It's going away." But, yep, that's a good story.
That's a great story.
Somebody do the calculator on that in the audience. What's 50, just under 50, back 30 years ago equal to today?
Got to be near 300,000.
For the 1 month? No, it's probably double. It's probably 100,000.
At least six figures, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At least six figures.
Yeah, for 1 month. You're right, Dave.
yeah.
Yeah, for 1 month. Hey, for that kind of money, even back then, the genre 900, that'd make you breathe heavy into the phone.
Another funny story. My parents were not happy.
I was just going to ask you, what did your mom and dad say to you when you said, "Hey, wait a second, Dad.
Med school can
I'm
wait."
not going to go to med school. I'm going to be a recruiting guru.
Oh, so they didn't say a lot, but I knew they weren't happy. And we had an apartment. We just got married, and we had an apartment over by Vanderbilt. And my parents were coming over to take us out. And I promise you I didn't do this on purpose. That check was sitting on the counter when they walked in.
And your dad said, "Well, maybe a pretty good decision."
Probably, I don't remember, but he probably said, "You're paying.
Yeah.
We're not paying for you tonight."
Never been more proud, son. Never been more proud.
right.
Well, just out of curiosity, what was your dad a doctor?
Pediatric dentist. And my brother took over the business, and he's been doing it for about 25, 30 years. And my oldest son, I got 7, oldest son starts dental school in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
He'll join.
Anybody going into radio?
No, that's not even a choice. Not a one of them has even asked me about this silly business, and they're smart.
That is great. You have 7 sons?
5, and then 5 boys, and then twin girls.
Wow. I did know you had a bunch of children. Everybody healthy? Everybody happy for this 4th of July?
Yes, we are, knock on wood now. I don't want to brag, but we are all good. Even Mama got COVID, and some of the kids get sent home. And by the way, she showed no symptoms.
Good.
I never showed symptoms either, but she tested positive. So we even had that go through the house, and not anybody blinked.
Wow. Well, continued health, my friend, and
Thank you.
And prosperity. And I know we'll do this again
Thank you,
soon because
Bill.
we got football coming up, and we love chatting with you. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
That is our friend Bill King in Nashville, who
Isn't that great?
You know, he tells stories. You know, he kind of tells stories. What kind of reminds me of our friend Jack Salmons. They got a story for everything. No,
they
doubt
do,
about that.
and Bill's delivery was, and Jack has that, and I tell you somebody else at radio that it makes you sit up and listen to. Greg Roberts always had it. Dave.
Oh yeah, between only you know and I know.
Yeah.
And you know, Greg Roberts, I don't know if he's coming back or not. Somebody said he might be back in the swing of things. Football season. I would love that. I can tell you a lot of good stories about Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch and also Genesis of Olive Branch. There's a lot of good stories to be told when you've got a sales team that's been together about 14 years, or you got a guy over the pre-owned car dealers. That dealership, let's see, Ray Melton's probably got, I want to say at least 45, maybe 50 years in the car business. These are the people that know the product, and it's a good one, and that love sharing that knowledge with you to put you in the right car. So they've got this product, so good, so durable. You get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. That's every new Hyundai, safest car in the world. Every new Genesis, best value for a luxury car going. Everybody in the automotive industry is saying that. Read the magazines. They'll tell you what a great vehicle this GV80 is, the one that deployed all 15 of the airbags that helped to save Tiger Woods' life. That's the safety and the durability. Now we talk about that team. 14 years together. They are all about making sure they take care of you. And that's part of the Chris True. He's the general manager. His thing is service. How about 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package on the house? They'll take care of you. They'll change your oil. They'll rotate your tires. They're going to make sure that car of yours runs at peak efficiency so it lasts forever. And then it becomes a Ray Melton pre-owned, and that's why they're number one in the market. It's just a great organization. Please go see for yourself. Get on Lamar into Mississippi, exit 1 Craft Road, turn left. You're there. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. Take a break. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk, in fact, little College World Series, but a lot of Major League Baseball. And a bad story today about a really good pitcher on the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've had their share of controversy since winning the World Series. That comes your way in a minute on this Friday of Sports Time on Sports 56.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. I'm often called Shell Done because I sell homes and work with buyers and I get the job done. There are 7 keys to successfully selling your home quickly at a great price. First, call me. I do my research and advise you on preparation, presentation, and proper pricing that gets you the activity to get the best price. Follow my advice and it can happen. I did mention 7 keys to a successful sale, didn't I? Well, if you use the first key, calling or emailing me, you really don't need the next 6 keys. Remember, that's Sheldon Rosengarten at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. If you don't need me now, write it down for later or for a friend at Sheldon at 483-0546 at memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, and who knows, you may hear your home advertised here. Remember, as bad a golfer as I am, when selling homes, Shell Done gets it done.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brett Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. I am losing my mind, Brett Norsworthy. I just texted you. about our good friend Walker Taylor, who we absolutely appreciate so much. And I'm sitting here going, oh my goodness, I have not talked about the Germantown commissary or the Collierville commissary yet. But we're going to do that right now.
It's a good time to talk about it, and want to appreciate and say thank you to Walker for so much, for being with us, for being a friend more than anything else. But this weekend, I know a lot of people, they're going to try to do what the commissary, what they do every day. And the commissary, they do it so well every day at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown. And I know a lot of people want to be the backyard barbecuer this weekend. So this is the perfect time. And yes, you can. You can go and buy the whole pies, the whole desserts. How about it? You're trying your prowess over the old Barbie, but you go get all the fixings like the beans and the tamales and things like that to go with your sides. And then after you've tried your dance this weekend at Do It, go back to where they really do it well, and that's the commissary at Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, the ribs, the shoulder, all the great food. And don't forget the party packs into the coming weeks and days and into football season for tailgating, 6-pack, 8-pack, or 12-pack. I mentioned the desserts. You love the banana pudding. I do too. I love the best lemon icebox pie I've ever had anywhere. Let them help you out this weekend. 754-5540, 901-754-5540. You're going to try to do this weekend what they do all the time at the commissary. You can't, because they were the originator of the barbecue nachos. Yours may be okay, but they're not going to be like that. You're going to want to get back to the commissary at Collierville, Houston, Levy, and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, 754-5540, or online at commissarybarbecue.com.
You know, it's so funny that you mentioned around Memphis, and I guess all the South, people do 4th of July parties with ribs. I used to go to this party every 4th of July when my kids were growing up. I mean, we write it down. I did it for about, 17, 18 years in a row. I'll even say the wonderful guy's name was a big Tiger fan, Tom Glazer. And he lived in Hind Park, and we would go there every 4th of July. And I always had a ball, and he just made spectacular ribs. But when I was growing up, the 4th of July was hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
It was hot dogs.
Yeah, it was, Dave. It was that. It was not even in I want to say in this part of this neck of the woods, it was not the barbecue culinary Super Bowl that everybody tries to make that now. But we live in the barbecue capital of the world. That's unarguable. There are great barbecue places, but it is unarguable we're the capital in the Capitol building.
And it's amateur weekend. It's amateur weekend this weekend for that. Yeah,
it is.
And for the contest in May, which is, a lot of those guys are pros. That is for sure. Speaking of pros, we talked baseball with our good friend Tim Doolin. You called it. You said if I had to make a decision on Game 3 of the College World Series, I would lean to the Mississippi State Bulldogs. So you were right on the money with that. I don't think even you saw, though, the domination.
I didn't see the domination, but if you remember, we talked about it, definitely not being braggadocious. But the one thing we talked about last week or before Game 3, was the fact that Mississippi State swung the bat so well in Game 2, and even though Vanderbilt won Game 1, they really didn't get a lot of hits because they were, fortunate enough to get a ton of walks by the Mississippi State starting pitcher. So that alone really had to give me, the edge on going with Mississippi State, and they proved that to be the case, because not only did Riley Jordan and really the whole team came up big. I mean, you had guys that really you're not expecting to come up big, came up big, and they played a solid defense. Didn't make an error the entire World Series. So pitching, defense, timely hitting, and they had arguably the best bullpen in the country. So the best team won.
No doubt, the best team won. And I thought they were so prepared for everything. Their defense, you talk about no errors the entire time. It was spot on. And even the leadoff hitter against Rocker, knowing it was going to be a fastball, was ready. First pitch, first hit. The game was on.
It was on. And you know what is I know we talk about it a lot, but I still believe that winning the College World Series is undoubtedly the hardest of all the national championships to win because it's such a grind, and you've got to strategically try to line your pitching up to where you're ready to go into the regional, super regional, and then ultimately the College World Series. But once you get there, you know, getting in a loser's bracket game or whatever, it's just so hard to go from start to finish and win like Mississippi State did and like all the teams did just to even get there. But, you know, what's funny is, and it's really not, but and I know all teams are doing this, but I texted Lamonis back and forth, and I said, surely you're going to give your coaches a couple of days off. And he said, laugh out loud, this was this morning. We're in a staff meeting right now figuring out where everyone's going on the road to recruit. So, you know,
never stops.
Shocker, right? Yeah, never stops. Never stops.
Never. And now this afternoon it stopped for a little while because the victory parade through the streets of Starkville, celebrating that national championship, it was going on today, and they're going to enjoy it for a while. I failed to mention this when we were visiting with Matt White the other day, but Tim, what this would do for the entire athletics department at any place that wins a championship, whatever sport. Mississippi State just made season football ticket sales a lot easier.
Well, there's no doubt how you look at when you talk about tournaments that are in town or out of town and the economic impact. Well, the economic impact on just what you're saying on what it did for the university, getting that type of hype and that type of highlights, and the fact of the matter is, truth is that 90% of that stadium were Mississippi State people, and they drove a long way to see them win their first national championship in any sport, and it was remarkable.
Yeah, that town was all state. It was amazing how that passion, and let's face it, they were one of the pioneers of big-time baseball. They're certainly the first
one.
Well, they would. Go ahead.
I'm just sorry to interrupt, but there's no question. I mean, I can remember in the mid to late 70s when Ron Polk got that train going.
Yep.
And there was no one in the country that were putting butts in seats like he was. And so you got to tip your hat to him because he really was, in my opinion, the grandfather of creating baseball as a revenue producing sport. And he's to be commended for that.
Wouldn't you say, and I can't remember all their names, but the guy at Florida State, he had a program going.
Mike Martin was, he was outstanding. Texas, Cliff Gustafson.
Yep.
And you could go, and look at how many, consecutive World Series appearances that Rod Dato had at USC, although they didn't draw. He was still a pioneer because he was really just unbelievable on how they were just continually the best team. But back to Ron Polk, once he got it rolling in the SEC, it was game on and all over. And that's what I think is so attractive to a lot of players from the West that, they're looking and watching TV and going, man, I'm not sure where Starkville is, but if I get an opportunity, I'm going there, or Ole Miss, or Tennessee, or, wherever. In the SEC. LSU, obviously, the Arizona coach realized that, hey, this is a good move, and he's going to be able to recruit the West.
I will say this. If I were a baseball player and I wanted to play in front of big crowds, I'd go to any of those SEC schools that you just mentioned. I'm curious, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but you mentioned how Ron Polk figured out it could be a revenue producer. What do you think the profit margin for the LSUs, the Ole Misses, the Mississippi States, the Vandy's this year? What kind of money are they making? Are they bringing in?
Well, I think you probably have to take Vanderbilt out of that mix just because they don't fill the stadiums up like the ones you mentioned.
Okay.
But I would say the net. I don't know the exact numbers, but I would tell you the net income off of those sports. From those teams in baseball is huge. Because you fly your guys, you fly your guys on the road. Other than that, you don't have the huge expenses. You don't have huge rosters. Obviously, you don't have enough scholarships to be given out.
You only got 11, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 11.7. Here's what's going to be interesting. I was on the phone today with a couple of people that, from a relevant standpoint, is now that we've passed the where players can monetize and benefit from their likeness. It's going to be on. Think about this. You've got a huge booster fan base at all of these SEC schools. So if I or any other travel ball or whatever has a high profile player, that's going to be a topic of discussion. Hey, come here and look at our fan base. Look at the support we get. I'm not saying this because they don't own it anymore, but for instance, George Bryan at Bryan Foods in the day, and now he's since sold Sara Lee and all that. Well, there's a great example. Boom, we got you a hot dog commercial. We got you this, and the next thing you know, you're going to have advisors involved in all of the decision-making processes of, okay, if I go to college, where should I go that's going to benefit me both from on-the-field development academically and something that can put some money in my pocket while I'm playing?
Well, honestly,
the rich are going to get richer. The rich are going to get richer.
No question, but if you think about this in particular in baseball, you don't even care about the scholarships anymore as much because you're going to get your money anyway. You'll get a share of the 11.7, but you're going to get a bunch of cash. And frankly, if the NIL is going to go the way I think it's going to go, you'll make more money in college baseball than you, if you're a star, than you would by going to single A or double A.
Another hit to minor league baseball.
Well, it's going to be. I mean, it's just going to make the decision for the player a little bit more difficult. Whereas if you've got a player that could go, say, in the third or fourth round, he's going to get paid, and those rounds coming up this next week, you're going to see a guy in the third or fourth round get anywhere from $500,000 to maybe $700,000. Well, if all the homework that's done by credible advisors, they're going to say, okay, you can take this and go chase it, although you're rolling the dice because that's really not a lot of money for a club to invest where they're going to stick with you. Or you can go to an SEC school and be a guy, and we feel like we can make you $100,000 or $200,000 in the next 3 years off the field.
Right.
That's an easy decision because he's going to try to prove not only that he's worthy of going in the higher rounds 3 years from now, and if he does it in the SEC, he's going to, but also he's going to supplement, quote unquote, what that loss might have been by him foregoing. So, Stats, you're right. It's gonna affect minor league baseball, but it's going to affect the players that need to be able to have sound advisors giving them advice on what and how they can monetize their name over the course of their college
Tim,
career.
There are a lot of them out there, but I saw one mock draft in particular that had the first 2 picks overall being high school shortstops, with Jack Leiter falling to the Red Sox at 3rd overall. If the Red Sox get him, I'm not talking about as a starter, and I'm not talking about as the closer. I'm talking about as a 6-inning whole guy, bridge to the next guy. Jack Leiter helps the Red Sox this fall in October with ceremonial red, white, and blue bunting up in the stadiums.
No, well, I don't disagree with that, Stats, but here's one thing that you're going to see. With them pushing the draft back, you're going to look at guys like Jack Leiter. When these clubs invest and pay what they're going to pay to get those guys, you're going to see a lot of those guys, depending on the number of innings that he's pitched, the workload, a lot of those guys, they're just going to shut down till instruction league. I'm not saying Jack Leiter's not ready to help them. But what you're not going to see is that big of an investment in a player like that and them roll the dice on rushing him too fast to the big leagues. Because do the Red Sox need him now to win now? Different story. I don't know. Time will tell because they're playing really well right now. However, I don't think you're going to see guys rushing players as fast as they should or could with rolling the dice in the sense that you don't want a guy to fail miserably and have to go backwards. You always want, and that's what they're doing with Blaze Jordan. They're not going to rush him. He was the youngest player in the draft when he was drafted, and if his goal is to be in the big leagues in 4 years, it doesn't matter where you're at today. 4 years from now, you want to be in the big leagues. So sometimes you'll skip a half a season in Double-A or half a season in Triple-A and go to the big leagues. But there's no question, in my opinion, Leiter's probably a little bit more ready than Kumar Rocker, in my opinion. But again, it just depends on, the club that takes him, what their needs were, why they drafted him, and what their, a lot of clubs are different. They'll rush guys and some clubs will not. But
you think there's any remorse at all from Blaze Jordan about
Not at all.
not going
not
to
at all.
Mississippi State?
No, not at all. I talked to him last night. He loves those guys. He played with a lot of those guys, obviously. He made the right decision for Blaze Jordan, and he is so happy. Even though he's playing 9 o'clock games with not a lot of fans, he is a kid in a candy store. He couldn't be happier, and he's doing really well.
Okay.
So again, it's not right. 99% of the kids in high school, unless they're getting life-changing money north of $1 million, they need to go to college. And now with it, like we talked about, you got a chance to go play in front of 8,000 fans at Duty Noble and be treated like a king, and now you get paid, off the field to do that. That's better than any of the minor leagues.
No doubt.
I can assure you.
I promise you. All right, last thing real quick. We only got 1 minute. L.A. pitcher Trevor Bauer facing allegations of sexual assault. I've read the report. It looks awful. He's on a 7-day leave while they investigate. What kind of a disruption is this for a Dodger team that has had trouble focusing all year long?
It's disruptive. I don't know that it's disruptive in the clubhouse. It's going to be disruptive more on the field with the fact that you're not going to be able to run him out there every 5 days. I mean, look, it's I've read it too. It's crazy, but I don't know the guy, but 3 months ago when we see all the things that he does on and off the field, as far as he's an eccentric guy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good, obviously, and it's definitely something that is detrimental to the game. It's detrimental to the Dodgers organization, and I don't think it's not very. It's more bleak than bright for his future. I can tell you that.
I would agree. Hey, my friend, have a happy 4th
Well
of
answered,
July.
Tim Doolin,
Yeah.
on a tough subject.
Yeah.
Well answered. Thank you, Tim.
All right, guys. Have a great 4th. See you.
You too. That's our friend.
You got it.
Tim Doolin. We appreciate that. We got to take a break when we come
That
back.
Bauer story, Dave. Wow.
Oh,
that's,
have you read it? Ooh.
I have, and it's hard to read. And
it is.
He has his side, of course,
right.
But so far his side has not been one of innocence.
His side has been pretty silent, to be quite honest, at least from what I have seen. We take a quick timeout. When we return, there is some news on Musa Cisse. We'll let you know what the big guy is thinking about. That's next on Sports Time.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Summer in Memphis is hot and humid. Match that with an inefficient air conditioner, and that equals less comfort inside your home and higher utility bills. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. If you're frustrated with your current HVAC system, then let us give you a free estimate to make you and your family more comfortable this summer. Right now, Choates and Carrier are offering 60 months no-interest financing on select Carrier HVAC systems. If you're not ready to purchase a new system yet and need Freon to get you through the summer, then go to our website for our half-off 1 pound of Freon coupon. If your system hasn't received a maintenance yet, Choates is also offering their $20.99 AC tune-up. So turn to the experts with Choates and call 347-8086 today to take advantage of these specials. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Choose your ride during the 4th of July sales event on now at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Indulge yourself in 2021 Chrysler 300 Touring, $419 a month. Get performance and power like no other with 2021 Dodge Challenger XST, $447 a month. Plus rugged 2021 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab, $479 a month. And 2021 Fiat 500X Pop all-wheel drive gets 30 mpg highway, $25,680 or $349 a month. So drive past the rest and come to the best, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Home of Sales finance through Chrysler, 75 months at 3.99 APR, 3,500 down. Pop, MP 889607, MSRP 28680, 300, MH 566859, MSRP 34115, Challenger MH 586605, MSRP 33130, 1500, MS 548140, MSRP 36425. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/21 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Everyone needs help sometimes. If you know of a man who needs help, John 316 Ministries is a spiritual boot camp for men with drug and alcohol addictions. There is no cost for the program to any man suffering from addiction. The only requirement is to be broken and willing to learn a new way of life. Go to john316thecure.com to find out more. Remember, there is hope. John 316 Ministries. We don't offer treatment, we offer the cure.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Final portion, hour number 2, is brought to you by Poppy's Pills. That's just what the doctor ordered. That's the newest from Grind City. It is now in Kroger. It is in liquor stores. Of course, you can find it at the Grind City Brewery. It's a Pilsner. Poppy's Pills. Sometimes you come across a beer so smooth and crushable, it cures what ails you. Take 2 of these pills, we guarantee you'll be calling for more. This Pilsner was actually 6 years in the making. That is how good and how long it took for them to perfect it. It is a lighter beer for lighter beer drinkers, grill outs, maybe this 4th of July. It's perfect. A Pilsner from Grind City. Poppy's Pills. Maybe at the beach if that's where you're going for the holiday. Maybe after golf at Miramichi or Galloway or wherever you go. Poppy's Pills. It is the newest. It may become the anchor of Grind City Brewing. It is just what the doctor ordered. So, Brett, we hear today from been a long time since Moussa Cisse, the former Tiger big man, has said anything, and he announced on Twitter, testing the waters has been a great experience. After taking time to weigh my options and discussing a potential transition into the NBA draft, I have decided to return to college for my sophomore year. My family and I collectively think that that is in my best interest to continue working on my game in attempts to perfect my craft. I thank you all of the NBA teams that gave me encouraging feedback. I feel extremely fortunate to be in this position after being in organized basketball for a short amount of time. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you on the court soon. Big Africa. And that's the first time I've ever seen him use that moniker. Big Africa. That is Moussa Cisse. He does not say what college he is going to go to.
No, and the options aren't great because would he have to sit out?
Well, if he no.
When did he classify?
Well, you get a free year.
Before July 1st.
Right. Last year was a free year, and you get one transfer. So he's never been to another school, so he wouldn't have to sit out wherever he goes.
And he needs a lot of work, basic basketball fundamental drills.
I can't agree anymore with you. I mean, if the Tigers are interested in this Durant kid, they've already got Onu and they already have Malcolm Dandridge. There really isn't much of a spot for Cisse anymore. And I don't think he's coming back. Now, I have heard Penny say as far back as a month ago that he was going to save a spot for Moussa, and there still are 2 spots available. But if he were to get this Durant, even if he didn't, I just don't see from the video I've seen of Ono and Malcolm Dandridge healthy, I don't see how he would beat out either of those guys unless he's gotten a whole lot better in all these workouts.
Well, it's going to be a refashioned, remade, retooled roster. I got this text from a friend of mine asking, and I didn't know the answer, and I didn't look it up today, that when we talk about the NIT run and what it did and how it helped at the end of the year, how much were the contributions from guys that won't be back, like Boogie and like DJ Jeffries and potentially Musa Cisse?
Well, I can't remember a game where I could tell you Musa Cisse won the game.
I can't either.
I would tell you that I think Boogie was instrumental in 2 or 3 games. I really do. Over a couple of years. He was good. He won 2 or 3 games over 2 years for the U of M, but he was still at the point.
But that NIT run that we were also excited about, and maybe the push into next year, that's what my friend was asking, is how big a push is it really? How many of those guys are really back that were part of that NIT march?
DJ,
I don't know.
DJ was. And Boogie, I was about to say, Boogie actually had to be removed in the semifinal game for defensive purposes later in the game. So I would. But
Jalen Duren changes it all. It doesn't matter what you lose from the NIT.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you almost could start with Jalen Duren and find new satellite players around him.
If Bill King is right, and he says, this is just what he's heard, he's a generational player. Then that does change.
And the Tigers aren't out of it on Imani Bates, are they? Is it Imani or Imani? I'm not sure.
Imani Bates. I don't know. The only thing I know is that actually, is it Duran or Duran? I've heard it pronounced both ways.
Well, it's spelled. Duran the boxer was A-N. This is, I think, E-N, D-U-R-E-N.
Yeah, but I have heard people call him Duran. And it reads like Duran. I'm with you. Yeah. So I'll be honest, I don't know, but I know he passed Bates in 24/7. 1-2 doesn't matter. I guess if it's generational, it would matter, but we'll see.
I'm not going to get too hung up on it.
I'm not either. This is interesting too. You remember Bill King mentioned that Spencer Rattler signed with the Steinberg company, Lee Steinberg's company. Bryce Young signed a deal today.
With CAA today.
With CAA. CAA.
And started a game yet.
Is our friend Jimmy Sexton, correct?
Well, that's the agency he's with.
That he's with, right. That's also the agency of his coach.
But it was a different rep that's going to be handling that with CAA.
Yeah. Well, same company. And when he's out of college, he's going to be with that same company.
And started a game yet, has an agent. Must be nice.
What an advantage this is going to be for the NIL, for the big powers. It is. I mean, you know what it is? Nothing really changed. Nothing's really changed. Because those that have been in control will have the wherewithal to still be in control. It's the same thing, and it's been that way for 50, 60, 70 years, whatever it is. We still love it, no doubt about that. And that's 2 hours in the books. When we return, we'll talk with Andy Schiffman about 5:15 or so on the NBA and on what is potentially going to be a Phoenix-Milwaukee. Am I right? Am I writing off Atlanta too soon? We'll talk about that in just a minute. This is Sports Time on Sports 56.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Hey Mid-South, we're ready to wow you at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike with the Enjoy Your Summer in Style sales event, and there's no better road trip than in a new ride. Get 40 mpg highway with 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $14,735 or $189 a month. Need a little extra room? 7-passenger 2020 Outlander with Tri-Zone climate control, $349 a month. Plus 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $25,975 or $299 a month. All powered by a stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 stock number MHF 06284, MSRP 17735, Outlander NZO 11927, MSRP 30540, Cross NZ 004494, MSRP 27725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Visit Frontier Western Store this summer to check out tons of new products. Frontier added so many new items in their women's boutique. There are daily arrivals with thousands of on-trend tops, jeans, and pants in stock at amazing prices. And guys, Frontier's your #1 Carhartt store. There's no one around with the largest selection of everyday fits and workwear. Wrangler and Ariat clothing also available. Frontier recently remodeled their entire store and expanded the world-famous boot showroom. Now there are even more dress and work boots in stock. After Ariat boots, then you've got to check out Frontier. There are over 1,000 pair of Ariat boots alone, and thousands more in other brands such as Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, and Twisted X. As if the selection isn't reason enough, there's Frontier's low prices. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so when you're ready for your next pair, you know right where to come. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sportstime on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sportstime is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
1 hour to go until the holiday weekend. We want to wish everyone a safe, fun, festive 4th of July, Independence Day being celebrated on Sunday, 245th birthday. Dave, we're going to make it to see 250. We saw 200. We're going to see 250 in a few years. That'll be fun. And
from your
I know
mouth
this weekend,
to God's ears, as they say.
We hope so. We sure want to be around. We're going to see 245. I have a pretty good feeling about it on Sunday. Also have a good feeling about this. The title sponsor of this hour, our friends at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road. They wish everyone a safe, happy 4th. They're going to be open all day tomorrow, but, of course, Sunday they'll be celebrating with their families. They're down on Goodman Road at 5704 Goodman Road and online at DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. All the cars test-driven, all checked out, bumper to bumper, unlimited inventory, and that's hard these days to say and to accomplish in the car business, but they're able to do it at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts taken. They'll treat you like family, kind, courteous employees, in a down-home environment, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. They know we live in a world today that time really matters. Everybody in a hurry. They keep it simple. They're not going to rush you, but they're going to let you enjoy the ultimate car experience. Walk in within 45 minutes. Test drive a car, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're gone in time to do it over your busy lunch hour. Do it right now before the holiday weekend even begins. They keep it simple at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
We're going to talk with our friend Andy Schiffman in about 10 or 11 minutes. We got a couple of texts on the First Bank text line, 901-360-8255. One texter points out 11 Arizona baseball players have entered the portal. So that Arizona
a lot of them may be going
team,
to LSU.
That LSU baseball team is obviously going to enjoy the benefits of the new rules. And I don't know if all 11 are going to LSU, but I am certain that the better ones are going to follow their coach there. That is for sure. Big news today, NIL stuff all over the place, including one deal to a basketball recruit who is going to Tennessee State and is getting guaranteed. Now, he's Master P's son, so we figure there's a relationship that maybe this company called Web Apps America is trying to commence with his dad. But Hersey Miller is going to go to TSU and is guaranteed $2 million NIL. We have seen so many changes in the world of sport. Amazing.
Well, we have the idea, even at Alabama, even by the most ballyhooed recruit 2 years ago, never started a game, never was in an important game, never took an important snap last year at Alabama, because when he was in, it was all garbage time. They were way ahead when he got in. There was no threat of him being the difference. I know he's going to be. I know he's supposed to be good and all that, but to have an agent before you've taken a starting snap.
Well, and it's all legal, so I'm not saying anything here is illegal or, for that matter, unethical. But it's pretty evident to me that you got a coach who's saying, by the way, you come play for me. Not only will I get you ready for the NFL, but my agency, the CAA, you sign with them, and they'll get you money while you're here, and then you go with them. They got a relationship with you right to the pros, and they know how to get these guys in the pros. That is incredible. I don't know. Does the Steinberg company have Lincoln Riley? Is Lee Steinberg Lincoln Riley's
I don't know
agent?
that. I don't know that Lee Steinberg does that many college football coaches.
That's what I was thinking. I wasn't sure if Jimmy has Lincoln Riley or not.
I don't know that either.
But that it's just obviously a major advantage if you've got a player that is that high profile that you can say, not only are we going to bring you here to get you ready to play at the next level, but you're going to start with an agency that will get you that kind of next level money right now. And that's just the way it's going to work. And
yeah, and Dave, we were talking about the youngster being in college basketball, Bates, the number 1 or 2 player.
Right.
I will believe it when I see it that he doesn't stay at home at Michigan State, but he was a long time commit to them and then reopened.
Yeah, I know there have been a bunch of people. I don't know at all, but I've seen speculation certainly in sports stories this summer that wonder if Izzo really is sticking around.
You would think he would have done it by now.
I agree.
But to engineer his hand-picked replacement, he's really got to have him over the barrel a little more in a few weeks.
That's true. And I don't know if that is what he's planning on doing or – what his total story is on all of that, but it's certainly it bears watching because you're right that if you're gonna pull the trigger on something and you want your guy in, you don't give him any time except to take the guy you really kind of want, you would think that after all this time, Izzo would have the right kind of the privilege, I guess you could say, to choose your own guy. Speaking of that area, the Rocket Mortgage Classic going on, Joaquin Niemann is your leader at 10 under with Tom Lewis. I believe he's from England, isn't he?
Tom Lewis.
Yeah.
Tom Lewis.
So they're both 10 under. Niemann.
Bagel for me.
Bagel for you. Oof. Oof.
Yep.
Oof. Well, I lost Matsuyama. I've not seen where Alex Noren is today. He's the last
Abe Kuhn
of
coming
my
out,
guys.
almost taking the fun out of the picks. He's so off to such a good start.
Alex Noren 4 under. He was 2 under today.
Okay. So
yeah, he'll make the cut.
He'll make. What's the cut?
Cut line right now
projected
is
at?
3 under, I believe.
Phil Mickelson was right at 3 under the last time I looked. Now, here's a guy not very happy. Oh, he finished at 3 under. He is even par today through 18, so 3 under. So he's going to be around for the weekend.
Know who else made the cut?
Not DeChambeau.
My guy Cam Tringale. He's still around.
Cameron Tringale made the cut?
Well, he's 3 under. He's 3 under on the tournament.
Well, if that's the cut, then
yeah, he's in good shape.
He's made it. Man, you're on fire, I must say. I guess the next one we really turn our attention to will be the Open.
Well, it's not over yet. We still have the Open. We have Memphis. That
right.
They both pay double.
And the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Then when we get into the playoffs, we'll just be into taking 2 players because a lot of those fields won't have 50 and up.
Right.
We won't be strict OWGR. So it's not over yet, but Big Man came in and dropped a house on us so far.
He's done quite
Drew,
well.
we hardly knew ye.
Oh, that's
Drew's poor little banner still hangs, just sitting there, almost listless.
I know it's terrible.
It's our friend Drew. Poor Drew.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's doing quite well in the
he's doing
great northwest portion of the state of Arkansas. Did you see? You and I are both Heisman Trophy winners. Voters. We are.
Yeah, I won in '83.
Voters. And for some reason, my computer is now refusing to come up. Wouldn't you know that? And today, the Heisman folks got back on the Reggie Bush situation, who said he wants his Heisman back. So the Heisman Trust said that Reggie could have his Heisman Trophy returned if the NCAA reinstates his award-winning season first. Now, you know it's an honor and honestly a privilege, and I feel great that I get to vote on the Heisman Trophy. But I kind of think the Heisman Trust kind of took the chicken way out here. Give the guy his due. He did it on the field. Why are you going to make the NCAA make the decision for you? I'd say give it to him.
Yeah, Billy Cannon got to keep, this all came up around OJ too. Billy Cannon kept his, and he went to the federal penitentiary for violating counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting, yeah.
Yeah, had the plates buried in his backyard, and he kept his trophy. And, of course, with OJ, it was very celebrated around that time, how they handled that. I'm with you. I think they should return Reggie Bush's Heisman.
Yeah, this wasn't breaking any major laws or committing murder. This was what did he take? I forget. It was something really
a lot of money. It's about $600,000.
Yeah, he took a bunch of money. His family took a bunch of money, and he did it on the field though. Nobody helped him there. I'm with most. I think that seems to be the national consensus is that Reggie should get the trophy back. But I don't know why the Heisman is putting it on the NCAA. Because now you're going to have to wait forever for the NCAA to make a decision on this. What do you think they'll do? Just sort of lick a finger, put it up in the air, and see which way the wind's blowing on it?
About like they usually do it.
Yeah. That probably would be the way they will work. We talk about sports being big business all the time.
We've got Andy. He's ready to visit.
We have Andy. I'm sorry. Thank you. Appreciate that. So it is time to get to the NBA, and it is time to talk. First, let's go east. And let's talk about what happened last night. No Giannis, no Trey, no problem for Milwaukee getting inside. Brook Lopez played like the guy he was in Brooklyn. He was a scorer for the most part inside. He was terrific. Drew Holiday, double-double with 13 assists. I think the key here is 66 points in the paint. They just couldn't be denied, and you have to sit there and wonder, why wasn't this more part of the game plan even with Giannis? Good afternoon, Andy Schiffman. How are you?
Good. I'm great. And you failed to mention the X factor, who's a client of mine for the Bucks, Bobby Portis, who's been tremendous all season for them off the bench. He stepped in that starting role to replace Giannis last night, and just the energy level he brought, and you could hear the crowd chanting his name. It's every game like that in Milwaukee, and it's been great to see that. He made a big impact against Miami and kind of was quiet a little bit against the Nets in that series, and he's just stepped up really last night, and just his energy was infectious. And like you said, Brook Lopez, Middleton obviously is going to be a consistent offensive threat. I just think they got such good and strong contribution from everyone across the board. I thought they defended well. And I thought the other night when Trey went down, I think that, when Giannis went down, the game that Trey was already out, I think that really just energized the Hawks, and they were in Atlanta, and they just completely took off on that run after Giannis went down with that gruesome knee injury. And I just think that the time between games, the Bucks were able to huddle up, and credit to Coach Bud to actually adjust his game plan to realize what he does have and how he needs to defend this Atlanta team to limit them going off. Atlanta, the other night, you see my guy Kevin Huerter 2 games ago had a big game, really didn't do a whole lot last night. 3 for 12 shooting. He had Lou Williams, had a decent game, but then really outside of Gallinari, not many contributors off the bench. Obviously, Nate really doesn't have a deep rotation to begin with, and so I just thought defensively, Milwaukee really shut the Hawks down, took advantage, and they could absolutely go into Atlanta even without Giannis. And I'm not even convinced they're going to win. They won't win even if Trey plays tomorrow night in this Game 6. Giannis, it seems like, is not playing. So I just want to see a Game 7. So
you think we'll see Giannis anymore these playoffs?
I think we could see him in the finals. I don't think he'll play this series. I really don't.
Okay.
That's my own.
Who do you think
opinion.
Phoenix?
No inside information there.
Who do you think Phoenix wants? That's the team they want to play against for the NBA championship.
Well, that's a tough call. From talking with some of the players on the Hawks, I know they would love the chance to play Phoenix. They feel like they match up very well with them. I'm just kind of going back and looking at the schedule. Phoenix did lose pretty handily on the road to Atlanta in early May, trying to see how, looking back and kind of see what they did against a Milwaukee team. They were able to beat Milwaukee on the road by 1 in late April. And obviously, they've only played the Bucks twice all year. They played the Bucks twice all year, played the Hawks twice all year, being in the Eastern Conference. I just think, kind of thinking through it, I think they match up probably better with Milwaukee. I think that's more favorable to Phoenix. I don't know if anyone on the Bucks can really stop what Chris Paul's doing. I kind of give the check to, or give that check in the box to Phoenix if they're playing Milwaukee. I think DeAndre Ayton could really have a field day, especially if you get Brook Lopez in foul trouble. I think that Atlanta defensively could give Phoenix some problems. I think their perimeter shooting could give Phoenix some problems. If I'm Phoenix, I'd probably rather play Milwaukee, to be honest.
Interesting. So you think inside with Capella, Okongwu, that would be tougher than Giannis and Lopez?
I think so. I just think, I've seen Phoenix play all season. I absolutely think Phoenix has more of a chance against Milwaukee than they do Atlanta. It's not to say they can't beat Atlanta. I think they're going to win the championship. I think no matter who they play, I just think that Atlanta can give them a run for the money. It's less about Phoenix, Dave. It's more about Atlanta. I just have watched Atlanta all year. If you have a healthy Trae Young, you can never count them out. I've seen it time and time again. You saw it in Philadelphia.
Well, they got
you
shooters.
Seen it early on.
Well, they got great shooters. That's unbelievable.
And
including
Trae
your
can
guy.
get hot in a second.
Oh yeah, and your guy, he's really impressed me, Herter. Just a little thought for you. You got Portis, right? You heard what they kept calling him last night?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Crazy eyes. I think. I think
not
that's
the first we've heard that.
That's you got to get him some sort of contact lens or some sort of eye doctor deal. I mean, crazy eyes, perfect.
You know, the other story with Bobby Portis, and this still remains true, and he's not shy about this. To get himself psyched up before every game, he pictures the opponent slapping his own mother. That's what he envisions to get him motivated before the game.
I had never heard
that
crazy before.
And Bobby is such a sweetheart and very, very low-key, quiet demeanor off the court. You would never suspect he comes out there and plays the way he does when you meet him off the court. He's very soft-spoken, but hey, it's just him conserving his energy for between the lines in those 48 minutes. Because I can't think of a more energetic player off the bench that makes an impact on the game like he can. Obviously, he's starting while Giannis is out, and I think that's going to continue. But he's absolutely become a staple there in Milwaukee and become a fan favorite.
And a good example of a guy that has found the right fit, the right team to be with.
Absolutely. And look, Bobby turned down more money to go back to New York last summer to go to a championship-level team in Milwaukee. He's got a player option this summer, so we'll have some decisions to make if we decide to stay at that number or try and hopefully cash in on a more lucrative deal with some other teams depending on salary cap situations. But everyone always talks about these NBA players just want to go out there and chase money. Doesn't matter who they play for. And obviously we saw what the New York Knicks did this year. It's not to say they had a failure of a season, but to Bobby's credit, he turned down more money to go and chase a ring and win a championship. And this is not someone who's 33, 34, 35 years old in the back end of their career where this is their only chance to win. And so it's a great credit to Bobby that he wanted to go, just like you said, Brett. It's a great fit. It's an opportunity to be a part of a championship DNA team. And look where they are now. They're one game away from making it to the NBA Finals, and that's absolutely large part due to Bobby Portis and his play this season, and absolutely last night for sure.
When you look at Trae Young, can they win without? I know they won that first game, and you were talking about that they really got motivated when they saw Giannis go out. But can they possibly win if he doesn't come? Let's say Giannis doesn't play, but will we see just a repeat in Atlanta of what we saw last night if Trae doesn't play?
I don't think it will be that big of a blowout. And obviously you saw the Hawks, like I talked about, chipping away at that lead, getting it to within 6 or 7 here and there. But I think they've got an uphill climb, even in Atlanta, even without a Giannis, even without Trae. You're still facing a stacked Milwaukee team. They still have the All-Star and Chris Middleton who can get hot at any moment, and he's playing at such an elite level. I don't think they can win without Trae. I was honestly a little bit surprised we didn't see Trae last night from the reports I heard. So I'm going into tomorrow expecting him to play. Just looking something up really quick. I mean, they didn't really have tons of games this season without Trae, but the record, just in case you're wondering, they were 5-4 this season without Trae in the lineup.
Really?
Huh. Yep. So can they win? I think it's unlikely. But even beyond that, let's say they win. Can they win a game 7 without Trae? I do not believe so. Could they actually win a championship against Phoenix without Trae? No shot. Not the way. No. Not the level of Chris Paul where he's playing at right now.
Andy, are you ready for this offseason to move once again at warp speed? Maybe not with the quickness of last year, but it's going to be draft, free agency, back to camp in a blink of an eye, schedule release in a blink of an eye.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll actually move quicker than last season, because last year we were all just kind of waiting around. You had the draft not until November. You had free agency even after that, and then the season starting in November, December time frame. Later in December, rather. And this year, everything has moved up. So now you're talking about the NBA season still ending a little bit later than it normally would, but before, for sure, last year with the bubble. But all of a sudden, a month from today starts free agency. July 29th, less than 1 month from now, is the NBA draft. There's a very, very small window between the draft and free agency. And then you go right into Summer League, and then training camp starting at the end of September, where they're trying to start the 21-22 season. So everything is back on track next summer with the July 1st free agency. So I expect this summer to actually be a bit more hectic. I think the market will be healthier. I think the salary cap is supposed to go up by another $3 million, which would be great for players and teams alike, and just for the market in general. So I expect things to be a bit faster pace. I'm ready. I'll tell you that. We've already been preparing for the draft here. We've got our rookies out on the road, working out with teams, auditioning for teams. The NBA Combine was here last week, which had us very busy. We had our pro day in Chicago just 3 days ago with all 30 teams present watching our rookies work out. And so they're all out on the road here in the final crunch before the draft on July 29th, and we're preparing for free agency. And so it's going to be here before you know it. So we have no choice but to be ready, Brett.
Who was the guy at the Combine that you really weren't quite sure of, but made an impression on you and other NBA execs?
Well, look, of course I'm biased, and I'm going to say one of our own guys that officially committed to staying in the draft today, and a lot of people out there may not know who he is. He played at Iowa, Joe Wieskamp, 6'6", shooter, and for the longest time, all the feedback I've gotten from NBA teams is, can he do more than just stand on the corner and shoot threes? Obviously, anyone watching Iowa this year was honed in on Luka Garza. But Joe went out, had a pretty good day the first day playing 5-on-5 at the Combine last week, and the second day in a Combine setting where typically it's very point guard, ball-dominant basketball, just not really many sets or plays, mostly just pick and roll. But you got to remember, everyone you're playing with out there, Dave, is really playing for themselves, trying to one-up everyone else. They're competing with one another. Joe went out and had 26 points and 10 rebounds and shot lights out from three. So he measured great from an athletic standpoint, and athletic testing, and speed and agility, and all that aspect of the Combine. He excelled in all these categories. So he's really moved himself up. And I think going into the Combine, he was really thought of as maybe a late second-round pick to end up on a two-way contract or potentially even undrafted. And I've talked to a number of teams over the last week. A lot of teams now want him in for workouts, being talked about as a late first-round draft pick, potentially early second. And so a kid like that, I think it's great to see because he's such a hard worker, and he absolutely answered the question, can you do more than just catch and shoot from the corner? So I think he's a guy for sure that's impressed a lot of people. On the flip side of it, not to say that he was really highly thought of to begin with in the realm of NBA draft rankings, but there's a player out of Florida State who was a 6'8" big man, Raquan Gray. He goes into the NBA Combine, and his body fat measurement was over 17%, which is pretty unheard of. So he wasn't really going in being thought of as a first-rounder, but typically an NBA rookie, an NBA draft prospect, you want that body fat percentage. And all these things matter. You might be kind of chuckling hearing me talk about body fat, but all these measurements go into a team's evaluation of who they're going to draft on draft night. You'd really like to see that be from anywhere between 5% to 9%. I mentioned Joe Wieskamp. His was below 5%. A lot of our other players was around 7%, 8%. And to have someone come in at 17%, really got to retool that diet. I think he might be on the Andy Schiffman diet. You got to really change that up if you're trying to audition for NBA teams.
Wow. Last thing, Quentin Grimes, I heard he was outstanding.
He did really well.
And he probably will stay in the draft and not go back to Houston.
Yeah, I think he did really well at Kansas. I loved him at Houston. Obviously, you saw him in the postseason. He definitely is being talked about. I think he's helped himself. Now, again, he could be someone that's helped himself to the point of maybe being solidly in that 40 to 60 range. Maybe he gets a two-way contract, but he had a 27-point game at the Combine. He was one of their leading scorers. He looked very well. I know at one point going into college, he was talked about as being a lottery pick. I wouldn't say he's that highly thought of now, or even in the top 20. Is there a chance he could sneak into the first? There's always a chance. You just find one team that absolutely falls in love with a kid like that, especially as well as he can shoot it with his size. But I think he's solidly moved himself up into a realistic draft candidate, whereas before maybe he was on the bubble or as thought of as a fringe guy.
Happy 4th of July, my friend. Hope you have fun on the Chicago lakefront. Look out there, see all those fireworks, and we'll talk to you next week.
No fireworks this year for 4th of July in Chicago, unfortunately.
What?
Go up to the suburbs and find that. I don't know, Dave. You got to call some people here and get that taken care of, Dave.
Oh, my goodness. I'll have to call them.
I know.
I'll call. Don't worry.
There you go.
All right.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you much. We appreciate it. This portion of the show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai, and Genesis of Olive Branch. They want to wish you all a happy and safe holiday season. They know all about safety because those Hyundais and those Genesis cars are amongst the safest cars in the world. The technology is just outstanding. So you got that product so good, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new car. But then let's go another step further. Let's just talk a little bit about the product with the service. Chris True is the GM. He's got a philosophy about taking care of their customers. That's why they give every new car a 3-year, 36,000-mile maintenance package where you're going to get free oil changes, rotation of tire, checking of all the fluids, making sure your car is running at peak efficiency. That's just the way they operate. And this team's been together a long time, about 14 years. Go please see for yourself. Get on Lamar into Mississippi. Exit 1, Craft Road. Turn left right there. And you'll see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. We pause for just a second. We'll give you what's going on in the world of sports at this very moment. That comes your way in just a minute.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
AC trouble? Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60. Then this year, Air Doctors is the official HVAC contractor for St. Jude Dream House. Air Doctors installed the St. Jude Dream House new Train high-efficiency equipment. Get your service from the best. AirDoctorsOfMemphis.com. Call 901-598-HVAC.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
It's on at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike with the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. And we can put you in a new Kia today for less than $5 a day. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month. 2021 Kia Soul, $137 a month. Both 36-month leases, $39.79 due at signing. And Built in America 2021 K5, $169 a month. $29.99 due at signing, 36-month lease. And get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Trade up to your Kia today at Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte ME 3716, MSRP 20,930. Sold M7 144,946, MSRP 20,515. K5 MGO 21,674, MSRP 26,170. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. With approved credit warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offers valid through 6/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Reddick Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day, group play, and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Cruising to the 4th of July. Hope everybody has a great weekend. There is a major controversy that has arisen within the ranks of the United States Olympic track team. There is a sprinter on that team named Sha'Carri Richardson, and she's one of the best sprinters in America. She had qualified for the 100-meter event and some others to take place in Tokyo in a couple of months. But she has been disqualified from that 100-meter event because and she gets a 1-month suspension. And the event that she would run in would be involved in that 1 month because she took a drug test from the World Anti-Doping Association, WADA, and she was positive for THC. THC is the ingredient in marijuana that gets you high. Now, marijuana is legal in many states and in, I want to say, the majority of states for medical. And she claims...
But it's still illegal federally.
Yes. She claims she lost a mother and it made her distraught, and that was her way. That was her medicine of coping with her angst. She's really getting a whole bunch of athletes coming to her aid. And I would just say this. I'm obviously a little bit more liberal on some of these things. If it were performance enhancing, and that's how she qualified, I would be all for the suspension. I haven't imbibed in marijuana a long time. But I can tell you from my old days, Steamboat, we bring that back up. Brett, I never found marijuana to be performance enhancing.
Yeah, I don't think it ever made anybody faster. I just don't know what the rules. I don't know what the rules are. Whatever they are, she had to be aware of them before she might have been in violation. Does it bother me? No, I don't care what she does. But it did. If it bothered them and she knew up front, then she's going to have to pay a serious price for either the lack of knowledge or violating or the violation of them.
Well, here, if we go by just the letter of the law here, and maybe this is a win-win for everybody. She's admitted she did wrong. Then she can't run in the 100-meter event, but she's also in a relay, which would be just after that suspension is over, so they could still take her to Tokyo for that. Let her go. Let her go.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm going to talk about it here in a bit when we do crunch time. We're getting down to crunch time for the Summer Olympics, and all the time we enter about this phase, that 2 to 3 week out phase about the Olympics, and you have doping and you have issues and you have making the team and not making the team and the trials, and you also have this, whether the Olympic city's ready from the construction point of view, whether they're ready for infrastructure, whether they're ready for security. This year, we've got the real wild card because out of sports, we never had that super spreader event. I sure don't want the 2020 Tokyo Olympics finally going off in 2021 and it being another round of COVID or the Delta variant spread worldwide from the Olympics.
Well, they're
or somebody there very ill.
They're making it hard. I mean, they have basically said there is no mingling of athletes in the village, and if you'll recall, there are many a romance that have begun in Olympic villages in the past. There will not be this time around. I was just talking to an official, a golf official, and he was telling me that they are saying that the golfers, and this could affect the WGC Memphis field, by the way, there are golfers that they are going to be required to stay 2 hours from the golf venue. Now, can you imagine Rory McIlroy having to stay 2 hours away from the golf course?
They won't like it, and they won't like how the whole Olympic Village ceremony are fun. The structure of it, the experience is going to be very different.
Yeah,
but it could affect Memphis because we're the next week.
Right. And you could have a guy who was it? This was a British Open champion years ago. I guess it was Darren Clark. Remember, he won the British Open and he was supposed to go to the next tournament. I can't even remember what it was. And he got so drunk he just said, "I'm out."
Shane Lowry did it just a few years ago.
Was it Shane Lowry? I was thinking it was Darren Clark after he won that British Open. But it could have been both, or I could be confusing it. But
I don't know if Shane Lowry's sobered up since.
He hasn't won much since. That the Olympics can absolutely affect our field. There's no question. I'm not sure they're going to want to, and because right after Memphis is pretty much
playoff start,
the beginning of the playoffs, right? So if you've gone to that measure, although it's pretty hard to turn down the kind of money Memphis offers, because remember, that's a no-cut event. Even if you finish
and those exemptions,
if you finish in last place, what is it, $100,000? It's $50,000 or $100,000.
The multiplier effect for Memphis is just so good. It gets you in a lot of fields and a lot of events for the next year. Yeah, the week after Memphis is the Wyndham, and then the playoffs start with the Northern Trust.
Okay, so that window, that 1 week window buffer, that'll, especially for the Olympians, that will hurt the Wyndham if they come and they play Memphis. But there's not really that.
And we were talking about our picks. No, there's not. There's not, Dave. You're right. There's not that many.
I mean, there's only four per country that are allowed.
Max four.
A max four, correct. So, but you are going to talk about the cream of the crop.
Well, you should be. In Great Britain and Northern Ireland, that's one team,
right?
That Rory McIlroy will be a part of. And for the Olympics, we were talking about there are still a couple ways for us to get back. At the Olympics, you haven't done Olympic picking with us. We go 3 million gold, 2 million silver, 1 million bronze.
Really?
You get 2 picks each, and it will be no world top 50. So that's a chance to really get back. I mean, you could,
Gabe, don't
go.
Think you already have won this thing. Do not think
don't hang that banner yet,
because
Tringale don't hang that
made
banner.
A
Not
cut
so fast.
That he made a cut that you're
off to a good start, but.
Man, you're making a rookie
I feel like
mistake.
I'm more in your head than you are in my head, though. You're worried about what I'm thinking about right now. I like where I'm at.
I'm not. You're not in my head.
Am I not? Am I not?
Don't think so.
All right.
I just see that little canary eat and smile. Like
next week, are you going to send me picks on Wednesday? Because you'll be picking second again.
I will be.
You going to send me picks, or are you going to have a designated picker?
I'll have to figure that out. I'll think about that.
Maybe I should try picking for you.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Where are we next week?
Next week, the tour will be where? The tour will be at the John Deere.
Oh, at the John Deere. Oh, my gosh.
In the Quad Cities.
I'll just pick Zach Johnson right now. No, I'm really not. But he won that 2 or 3 times, right?
Steve Stricker's pretty automatic there. When
Steve,
Jordan Spieth plays it, he's pretty good there.
Yeah. Well, that field is usually not very good, kind of like the field that we had today.
But they're not heading to the Open Championship. the very next week, the next week after the John Deere this year. No, they are headed to the Open the following week. That is it. So
that's it, right?
It will have a limited field.
Yeah, and I'll try to figure it out. And I think there'll be internet where I am, so I'll be able to send you. I don't trust anybody.
We need your picks. I sure hate
when I'm behind.
I sure hate for you to have a bagel for no picks.
Well,
the no picks for Dave.
I can tell you this much: based on the way you pick, I wouldn't lose any ground, even if I got a bagel next week.
That may be true.
Bryson DeChambeau. I told you. I begged you.
Everybody picked him.
Begged you not to take him. I reminded you. You'd taken him 3 times. He got you nothing.
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 I'm done with him. I'm through.
I hope.
Until the Open Championship where there's no out of bounds.
I don't know. He can find some rough spots even if there's no out of bounds. This portion of our Friday brought to you by the good folks at the Spirit Shop. Okay, this is a big holiday. It's a long weekend. I know you got to stock up, and it's so conveniently located right there, heart of East Memphis, Poplar and St. Nick. That's 4646 Poplar. You've passed it by. Little Log Cabin right down the street from Clark Tower. And you've probably, if you haven't listened to us, and we're going to have remotes there again, by the way, right before football season. But if you've been listening to us, we say you'll be amazed at what is inside, and I promise you will be. And I've had people come up to me on the street and go, "Wow, you were really right about the Spirit Shop," because it looks small, but inside, thanks to Eddie Connor and his spatial engineering degree, there's more product in that place than most humongous Spirit Shops. And the service so friendly, and the knowledge is terrific. If you ask about a specific product, they'll tell you all about it, the origins of it. They'll tell you what is up and coming. They'll tell you what is a good buy right now. They'll tell you what is really premium, and they'll tell you here's some good stuff that is an unbelievable price. And I'm talking about with any kind of spirit, tequila, gin, vodka, bourbon, whatever it may be, or wines, or even beer. And, they got all those Grind City Brewing products right in there like Tiger Tail and Doctor's Pills. Go see Eddie. Go see the crew. Stock up for the holiday. It's the 4th. You've got the right place, the Spirit Shop at Poplar and St. Nick. We'll pause for just a second. When we return, it'll be time for Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Sports 56 mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Zane. Weekday mornings from 7 till 10 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Wendy's only makes one kind of breakfast, your new favorite one. How do we do it? With fresh cracked eggs, oven-baked bacon, and flaky croissants. You know, the things your old breakfast wasn't doing. So toss that old news and its soggy eggs somewhere useful. And get to Wendy's, where the sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant, and honey butter chicken biscuit are just 2 for $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Limited time only. Single item at regular price. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303.
Hey, Mid-South, we're ready to wow you at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike with the Enjoy Your Summer in Style sales event, and there's no better road trip than in a new ride. Get 40 MPG highway with 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, $14,735 or $189 a month. Need a little extra room? 7-passenger 2020 Outlander with Tri-Zone climate control, $349 a month. Plus 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $25,975 or $299 a month. All powered by a stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, G4 stock number MHF 06284, MSRP 17735, Outlander NZO 11927, MSRP 30540, Cross NZ 004494, MSRP 27725, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/21. Dealer stock only.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Voloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. Too easy with the deal, we get insane.
Welcome back in. Final portion of our 4th of July Friday. And it's brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, the Visa gift card give back. Only John and Conway and Carrier do this. They've done it for a couple of years. This is the perfect time to really cash in if you want new technology, which always helps you out in the long run. You get the latest, you save on your energy bill, and your house is cool. And they give you back $1,500 if you were to get a Carrier Infinity system. And if your system needs 2 units, upstairs and downstairs, or front of the house, back of the house, now you're talking about $3,000 in cards, and that's just the beginning. John throws in an April air cleaner. He gives you a 10-year parts warranty. These are all free. And a Nest thermostat on the house. That's about $2,000 in freebies. This year, John has made it even better with easy payment plans as low as $139 a month. So you get a gift card, you get all those freebies and systems with new technology as low as $139 a month. You can't pass that up. Please call 384-3511, 384-3511. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. And now it is officially Taco Bell crunch time.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye!
Boop! Choo!
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
On 1, on 2, on 3. Hey!
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day.
Learned today, I think Phil Mickelson being really petty and taking that on the wrong people, taking that on the great galleries of Detroit. Hey, why wouldn't they say, all right, if you're not going to come back anymore, we turn on you. They start booing him over the weekend. How would he like that?
He would hate that. He would hate that. I don't think that'll happen, but the way he acted, he might deserve it, to be totally honest. I learned today, and I should always know this, how big business college football continues to be and grow and everything else. So the numbers came out on the guarantee for the Tigers in Tallahassee in 2024 when they travel to play Florida State. Hopefully that's Ryan Silverfield against Mike Norvell. That'd be great if they were both still there in 3 years. The guarantee, Brett Norsworthy, is $1.3 million for one trip, one game, $1.3 million that Memphis gets to put in their pockets. I guess Florida State's thinking that's going to be a W, but boy, can you imagine?
That's better than a lot. That's better than a lot of bowls because you don't have to split it.
Putting 1.3 up, yeah, exactly. Putting 1.3 up and losing, ooh, that would be something else. Also, if you get home and home like Memphis does with Arkansas, even though it's a 1-for-3,
nothing.
There is nothing.
If it's straight up home and home 1-for-1, it's nothing. But if it's
I don't think there was
it's a little more. You get a little.
Yeah, no. Even in the 1-for-3, I don't think there's any cash being involved in that. And I learned this too. Memphis will pay Missouri when they come to Memphis $250,000. I never heard of a group of 5 paying a Power 5 to come, but apparently that is the case.
I'd be trying to get out of that. Could do without that. Could have done without the anxiety we're going to feel until the Olympic torch is lit, until the closing ceremonies are over and it's extinguished. These Olympics, it always feels like it's on eggshells with the Olympic security, the village being built, some construction delays. But this one really feels scary.
It does. I'm still not 100% convinced.
Global pandemic.
I'm not 100% convinced it's still going to happen. You know what? The doctors
Not
in
either,
Japan, they don't want it to happen. The emperor of Japan doesn't want it to happen. But the IOC and the prime minister, who's in charge in Japan, they want it because there's been such a heavy investment already. I could have done without something you already mentioned. The Cowboys are going to be on Hard Knocks again. Big for Jerry Jones. Of course, the Dak Prescott story is cool to watch. But this will be their third appearance. That's more than anybody else has had. Some teams haven't been on at all. Third time for the Cowboys. Too much.
I've never watched a minute of Hard Knocks.
It's good. It's good.
I don't get HBO. Keeping a close eye this weekend on everything. Wimbledon, very interesting. Tour de France, very interesting. Baseball at AutoZone Park for me tomorrow night. NBA Stanley Cup. I'm the reigning champion there. I got my banner up as hockey expert.
My gosh.
The baseball matchups in the big leagues this weekend are great. Mets, Yankees, Sox, A's, Cards, Rockies, Cubs, Reds, Rays, Jays.
It's going to be fun. And you got NBA tomorrow night, too. You got the Rocket Mortgage with a bunch of no-names at the top right now. You can enjoy that as well. We got to thank Alan Bell, Bill King,